All right, we're here. What up? Sup, sup, sup. Cool, cool, cool. All right, I think we're live. We should be live. I also do want to fix some stuff on here. Let me open this. Got some more coffee today. Oof, today is a struggle fest for me, to be honest. I think I do want to actually shrink because this chart's looking really how far is that? I'm trying to fix the layout of my stream at some point. Daniel Marquez, what's up, dude? Dude, you're always here. Edson, Braden, what up, vibes? Disease for dinner, Ayo. Diseases for dinner. Choo choo, let's go. Not feeling too well, but I chill here as long as I can. I feel a bit today. Yeah, of course, Dana Marquez. I appreciate you being here, man. And dude, I hope you feel better. It sounds like you've been kind of feeling a bit off the last like week or so. Someone said Superman is going under 1,000 when MTL hits. I don't know about that. Let's look at some support stuff for Superman. Hey, yo, bro, dude, everyone's here, dude. Shit, dude, I'm surprised. Like when I turn on my stream, less than 5 minutes in, I get all the usual suspects in here, all the usual guys. You know, I get Falanini, I get Off Time Jive. Daniel Marquez is always one of the first. Disease for Dinner is a new guy. Appreciate you guys being in here early. Geez, Superman 3.4K. I don't see him going down to 1K, but let's look at some charts really quick. In the meantime, I think I do want to shrink down this as well as this. If I can shrink these down at the same time, that'd be fantastic. That's not something I can do. Cause like, let's try this. Give me a sec, give me a sec. Let's go. You gotta make it look aesthetically pleasing, right? I think that's good. It's a little off screen. Can fix that. There we go. I think that's good enough for now. There we go. Better. I'll have to play with it more because I actually do want to start making slightly more of a professional layout. Just like, because I do think on the right side here, like below, like above where my head is, but below where Superman is, I would love to be able to put somewhere for donors. I think I might put a little ticker up here towards the top, as well, that just shows like either recent donors or just like my picks of the day, or whatever is, or message of the day, which is basically right now, if you have gems, just hold on to it, you know. Trying to come up with some new ways to make the stream look a bit better, and then encourage people obviously to make their presence known, either through donations, or if they want to ask questions, anything like that, shout outs, that kind of stuff. So I try to want to make more ways for encourage the community stuff. I don't think it's gonna hit 1K. Like, I'll be so people have been buying Superman for a while for under 1,500. I really think, like, I mean, it could go down to like 2,500. Like, I noticed that like a lot of the NFTs tend to get hung up like right here, like right where this, like that initial pump that happened early January, and it kind of plateaued and then it pumped again. Like, I noticed that a lot of NFTs, like if they're really low, they get hung up with this like retest right here. It's kind of hard to show you because those these menus tend to like pop up, but like right here, I notice a lot of NFTs kind of get hung up there, and that's where they tend to bottom out Is there a chance it could go lower? Like, yeah, like I do not put it past people to just start selling shit at a loss. Like, I do not put that past Veve users at this point. But yeah, it could keep going down. But how much further down, it's hard to tell. But I would say at its like very lowest, assuming this gem squeeze, like I said, happens for another like 2 to 3 weeks, there's no action, no activity, no catalyst that could like help out the market, it could go down to like 2,500. But like 1,000, I don't think so. Don't mind me. What up, bro? Shankster the third. Hey vibes, how's your day been? It's been pretty good. A bit on the lazy side. I didn't go to the gym this morning. I did get paid with my YouTube ad money, which was nice, but it wasn't as much as I thought, because I guess it goes based off the previous month. So it goes from January 1st to January 31st, and then I get paid out like February 22nd. So it's delayed. So yeah, I'm gonna have to work a little bit between now and the end of the month to get rent down and all that stuff. Other than that, it's going great. So I kind of like figured that out. I do have another channel that makes like a little bit of ad revenue. It's like a gaming channel. It's not much, but I haven't spent like any time on that in the last like 3 months, to be honest. Like hardly any. It's getting close to time to go shopping, in my opinion. Yeah, it's getting very close. I think it's more reliant on, again, like I said, like MTL and those kind of things to finally hit the ground running. But yeah, it's getting that time. Things are getting pretty darn low. I kind of wish I held off. I'm sure all of you guys did too, but it's getting to that point. Steve says, what's up? It's going good. Let's go. Thanks for the live. Yeah, of course. I do still have that, what's it called? Gosh. I still do have that, what the hell is it called? Premiere video that's airing at 3:30. So basically 2.5 hours from now. So I'll be getting off before that video airs. So I'll be getting off here in like 2 hours, maybe a little bit less than that. So I'll have that later today. So I'm excited for that. That is something I did put a little bit of time into, and it's gonna be cool. So we love your content. I could see you being very big in the Veveverse. I would love to, dude. I've always been a big gamer. I could definitely see my channel expanding into the Veveverse, either for like a gamification reason or just to kind of be in it or whatever it is. I don't know. Like, the possibilities are endless, right? So it really depends on how far along this whole Veveverse thing comes along, right? So Disease for dinner. Love watching your streams after they are over because I always miss them except for today. Yeah, thanks for telling me that. I do too. I usually watch streams. It's hard to like, I still like watching streams live, like, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, like for me, I don't know if you guys watch Critical Role, which is a D&D stream that's been going on for more than half a decade now. And I remember when the first season came out, I used to watch it incessantly live, but then it just got too much and I couldn't watch it every Thursday and all that stuff. So eventually, I think season 2 in this most recent season, I just wait till it goes out on YouTube, which is perfect because I could just play it at 1.5 times speed, because those streams are like 3 hours long, like 4 hours long. So I just play it faster, and then I just skip the ads as well as like the middle portion of it where they take like the break. So instead of sitting down and watching a stream for 4 hours, I could watch it in like 2 hours on YouTube. So it just saves me like a ton of time. Simon Wester, hey, love your content. Could you look at Fantastic Four #1 comment? Yeah, we can take a look at that really quick. But I like Superman's not going down to 1K. I would say like at its very lowest, I want to say around like 2,400. Let's hope so. But then again, it's really hard to tell, right? My suggestion to you guys is, and I've been saying this for a week, is if you guys are thinking about buying something, I would just hold off right now. Just have an idea of what you could buy. But as of right now, like, things are still just getting cheaper and cheaper and cheaper by the day. Fantastic Four #1, common. What do you want me to look up about it? Or that's Fantastic Four #12. Where's #1? Did I pass it? Hope I didn't pass it. It's at 128. Interesting. Honestly, I haven't really looked at the Fantastic Four #1 too often. I always looked at #5 just because I just really like I really like Doctor Doom. Okay, so it actually hit like 117. It's actually rebound up to like 128. Listings are just low. It's really hard to like compare listings right now because again, every 30 days, Veve just delists NFTs that haven't sold for 30 days. So it's not like there's a big drop off here and like people are buying up the market. It's just a mass delisting. But these listings, because they're over 30 days old, if we compare it to January around this time, basically these are all the listings that happened at the peak that didn't sell and like the market was going down. People just haven't relisted them yet. And so basically all the ones getting delisted are they're just so high up on the listings that even if those just went away, it's not affecting the floor. So 128, it's holding its value decently well. I kind of brought it up in my last couple streams that I think part of me does want to start moving some of my vault value or just some of my future purchases towards comics, mostly secret rare and ultra rare comics. I can't afford most of the secret rares, but ultra rares I do think are fairly resistant to gem squeezes and stuff, mostly because there's not a lot of competition, like, and also on top of that, there's just not a lot of people selling them. Like usually secret rares and ultra rares, there's usually less than like 5% up for sale, like according to like the circulating supply for the most part. So if we're looking at the ultra rare right now, like it's, you know, initially it got hit pretty hard, but then it's kind of starting to plateau really quick, which is something I like to see. But, you know, given enough time, it's only a matter of time. It could keep going down and down and down just like everything else, but it is one of the last things to get gem squeezed. Daniel Lucina, do you have a Twitter? Want to give you follow for great content? Yeah, I'm on Twitter. I think in the link of like every description of one of my videos, it has a link to my Twitter. So maybe even the stream. I think the stream has a link to my Twitter. Let me see. Like, I think if you just go down in the description. Whatever. Let's see. Some guy just commented on one of my videos from like a week ago. Like I unsubbed, quit crying about, it was my video about the FE-FA changes. And it's probably not even so much about like the FE-FA changes themselves. Like, yeah, that is a part of it, but it's mostly just like inaccurate information that they've been reporting. Let's see. Yeah, if you check out the description of the live stream, there's a link to my Twitter. Brayden, thoughts on 60K editions of Black Panther? Kind of crazy. Did they release the Medium article for Black Panther yet? Now should be the time they've done it. I'm assuming that's where you're getting those numbers, but let me look it up really quick. Almost at 2K subs. Happy for you, bro. Decided to just hodl rather than sell my Spideys for golden moments. If they go down another 15-20%, I'll either scoop a Donald Daisy or an Iron Man with my own money. Yeah, that's a good call. That's the way to do it. And I see I got the follow already. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate the follow. Meantime, I'm gonna hook up my phone just in case I do need to show you guys something. 2 hours ago. Okay, the Medium article went out a couple hours ago. I've not seen this yet. Let's go ahead and pull it up over here. While that's loading, let me close something else. Gonna like it, retweet it, do all the stuff. A lot of cool information about Vibranium and Wakanda and all that cool stuff. I'm not gonna play the video. I have it super zoomed in just so you guys can see it a bit easier. I know it looks like it's ridiculously zoomed in, and it is. So 21,000 editions. That's more than Storm. That's more than Deadpool, right? That's a lot. That's actually quite a few additions. I think that's just going to hurt its value more up front. Like I said before, I really hope, I hope Black Panther does well. But on the same side of the coin, I could see it just getting absolutely just dumpstered on the market, because right now people are just trying to find any reason they can. They're just trying to find any way to get profit at this point. And really, one of the best ways to get profit now is to just play new drops in the secondary market. I probably would have played the motorcycle if I wasn't streaming, because I just didn't want to deal with just like buying it and relisting it and just having my head and my, my face in my phone the whole time. Like, that's not why you guys watch me for the most part. Yeah, so Deck the Halls, this one had 18,000 editions. So yeah, this Black Panther common has more editions than the other. So 21,800. That is crazy. The uncommon, I actually like the uncommon the most. I really like this stance is cool. I actually like this stance the most, even more than this one. Kind of wish they made this like, it's nice that they made this the uncommon, but I think this one should have been the rare. 18,800 editions. So that's actually closer to the Storm common. 8,880 or 8,800 editions of the rare. How many of the ultra rare? 5,800, and the secret rare has 2,800. Yeah, that's it's quite a bit of it. That's a lot of editions. Like you said, I think someone said it was 50,000. That's a lot. Yeah, like I said before, maybe I'll make a price prediction video tonight and release it for like tomorrow morning, or maybe like later tonight or something like that. Gotta get those views, right? But if I had to just throw numbers together, like, because this box price is what? Oh, it's 50 gems. Oh yeah, because this is Marvel, not Disney. So 50 gems. I really see the common going to like 60 gems. I'll be honest. I see the common going down to 60 because, again, Black Panther is huge. Don't get me wrong. But I think people know now is the best time to just sell it. It's probably going to keep getting gem squeezed like everything else for the next like week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, possibly a month. And you could just buy it for cheaper later. Like, even if you are a huge fan of Black Panther, you can just get it later. So at least that's my take on it. So I think the common could actually go down to like 60. I think the uncommon could go to like 75, maybe 70, something like that. Rare is probably gonna go for like 90. The ultra rare could probably go for like 250 to like 300, maybe a bit more than that. And then the ultra rare probably like 800, 700 to 800. I don't know. It's so hard to tell because like we haven't had, like, I'm trying to compare it to like lenticular cards or like the Marvel Mighties and stuff that were basically, they did come out during the gem squeeze, but like now we are in the roughest part of the gem squeeze right now, and we have Black Panther coming out. So I really just don't see people have been cashing out their gems just so they can buy Black Panther, or they're preparing for this, and again, we could also, like, people are also speculating on a Miles Morales drop like this weekend, like Saturday, we could get a Miles Morales drop or something else related, right? We might have another big hitter coming to the platform. And again, Miles Morales, I think, might do slightly better than Black Panther, assuming like the same mint numbers and stuff, but overall, people just want gems. People just want to cash out. People just want to, I think people kind of agree, at least I, in my thought process is like, you're still going to be able to buy Black Panther, Miles Morales, Spider-Man for cheap a month from now. You could still get it for relatively cheap, and cheaper than it's going to be off the market initially, right? So let me questions, and I kind of went on a small tangent there. I'll keep DCA and buy more. Almost 2K subs. I think I already read that. How much you got paid from YouTube? Not much. Like my other YouTube channel, because I was only, what's it called? I was only ad revenue eligible or whatever on this YouTube channel for like 2 or 3 days of January. So that's what I got paid out for. So it wasn't much. My other channel only makes like a couple $100. Like I hardly put any effort into it. I used to put a ton of time into it back in the day, but now I'm just putting it in maintenance mode where I just basically do like 2 videos a month. at that point. So yeah, I'm not putting that much effort into that one. But this one, I hope, like, if I do enough videos and content, and I do want to start having alternative ways to make money with, of course, donations, doing stuff on the stream, also maybe doing some merch. I know someone actually had some really good t-shirt ideas last time. Part of me wants to maybe do something on like Teespring where you can buy shirts. Not sure how the pricing is going to be. I haven't even looked at Teespring or anything like that, but just try and find alternative and fun ways to like grow the community, make some money. I would love to do this full time. Like, if I could do this full time, I will do more content. I will do more stuff. But as of right now, like, I'm busy doing, I have to come up with other means to make money. Do you do this full time? I really like your videos and insight. I would love to. Tist me. I do it not mostly full time. I probably could put more time into it, but I'm trying to focus on like my, don't know how to explain this, but also like I'm trying to get like in better shape and do some other stuff and like make sure I take care of myself in a more well-rounded manner than just grind content. I did that before in my other channel where I just grind content. That's all I did, and I ended up like falling behind. Financially, I didn't make as much money as I thought, and then physically and mentally, I was just kind of like getting worn out and stuff. So I'm trying to approach this a bit smarter, but also doing something like a schedule would be smart. I guess the schedule part is kind of hard because the money is delayed, and a lot of the stuff on YouTube is unknown. But after I get a couple months under my belt, I'll have an idea of like, all right, this is consistently what I'm going to get paid as long as I do this much content or this or that, or I have this many monthly subs, or whatever it is that's involved. So there's a lot of it. Frank Monig, FA Batgirl, should I buy her or finish off season 2 of Cover Girls? Let me look at the prices for those. I think we're done with Black Panther, right? I think we're kind of done talking about it. Batgirl, how much is she? To be honest, Frank, I don't really care much about finishing sets, to be honest. This is just my personal opinion. This is why you should watch other content creators too, right? Because some other content creators, I think me and Rob Stuff do think very similarly. There's some other content creators that are more interested in like independent artists completing sets that might be more bullish on like Master Collector Program. I'm not bullish on any of that stuff, like personally, like at all. So my advice is going to be a bit different. Like, if you're going to ask me genuinely, FA Batgirl, or should I buy her or finish season 2 of Cover Girls, I would say neither, and just save your gems and probably wait to buy some decent Marvel Mighties at this price range. You can't really afford anything Disney or like Star Wars or I was gonna say DC, but obviously Batgirl is DC. I don't think it's a terrible investment. I just think there's better things you can invest in. Like, I've been recommending this for a while, but like, I don't know how much you like Marvel Mighties or not, but I like Steve Rogers. I like Ghost Spider. I do think the Marvel Mighties are a good option to pick up stuff if you can't afford the Disney lenticular cards at this point. Patrick Labrin, your thoughts on golden moments on long term, 5 years? They're fantastic. I can't tell you what's going to happen in 5 years because I don't even know what's going to happen 5 days from now. Yeah, golden moments are going to be fantastic. They're the first Disney drop. Golden moments are kind of considered to be, in my opinion, some of the highest tier NFTs you can afford on the collectible side of things, not including like comics and stuff. And it's like one of the most collectible things on the platform. I think that, followed by the lenticular cards and stuff. I think Marvel's going to do great as well, like Spider-Man and Deadpool. Like, given enough time, if you're thinking 5 years out, everything's going to be fantastic. It's just a matter of what are going to do the best. And I do think golden moments are going to be among the collectible NFTs that will do the best on the platform. Jinx are the same third. Ooh, gaming. What games are you into? Dude, I'm in lots of different games. I think I talked about it last time, but more recently, my roommate bought Warhammer Warhammer 2 for me. I like that game a lot. But if we're talking like old school gaming, I played a lot of like PS1 games. So a lot of like Tomb Raider and Siphon Filter and like Game Day 98. And there's so many games going through my head, like I can't list them all. Command & Conquer on PlayStation. And then I got into like PC gaming because my older brother did. I played a lot of like Half-Life, played a lot of Counter-Strike 1.6 back in the day. Quake, Roller Coaster Tycoon. Gosh, I'm trying to think. There's so many other games, but more recently I've been playing like last couple of years. More recently it's been like EVE Online. That's like what my other gaming channel is about. It's pretty much just EVE Online. for the most part. Definitely I really like it as an MMO. It has an amazing community, but there's just like a massive learning curve. It takes a ton of time to like understand all the systems and actually like grow your character. There's so many different things involved with that. So it's a fantastic game, but like it's just a huge learning curve. And a lot of the people that do play, it is a bit of a more mature game too as well, just in the sense of like how the game plays, but also just the player base in general. I think the average player is like over 35 or something like that. Like there's some younger players too, but I've noticed like most of the people that do play that game tend to be, you know, it's like 99% men, and most of them are fathers or a bit older for the most part, because the game's been around for a long time. The game's been around for, it's been around for longer than WoW, I believe, or it's like around the same age as WoW for the most part. And yeah, I played tons of different games. I'm probably the most well-rounded with different genres compared to my brothers. My brothers seem to like shooters a lot, but I like MMOs and RTS and all kinds of stuff, you know. Didn't play that much Nintendo growing up just because my older brothers didn't play it much, so it's not like I'm against Nintendo. Hold on, I'm gonna turn on this. It's not like I'm against Nintendo. I did play Super Smash and other stuff like that. I did play a lot of like Game Boy, so like Link's Awakening and stuff like that. It's not like I'm against Nintendo. I just didn't play it because my older brothers didn't have the systems, and plus, of course, tons of Xbox. So Halo and Madden and all that stuff. Not a huge sports gamer person. Don't really like sports games that much. Yeah, so now that I went off on that tangent, let me double time it through here. Can you look up C3PO on the charts? Yeah, I can do that really quick. Whoops, probably should click on this before I start typing. Do you think the FA Wonder Woman is a good buy now at 249? Do you think she'll go lower? I think everything will go a bit lower. Tomer BB. I think everything's gonna go lower. I think things could keep going lower for the next like week, 1 to 3 weeks potentially. I think a lot of it is really revolves around MTL. I think Veve just needs to shake loose all the people that are on the app to just, you know, make short-term profit and cash out and be done. And like, there's nothing wrong with that. We need those people. Like, because of those people, we actually have the opportunity to buy stuff for super cheap, right? So it's not like I'm upset with those people or anything like that, but we just need to ride it out. So, but yeah, I would just wait. And plus, you know, you still get Wonder Woman, but I'm just more bullish on Disney than anything, and that's just my personal preference. I'm not saying DC is terrible. Wonder Woman's still a fantastic purchase, but like me personally, I would rather pick up one of the lenticular cards. Like I think Donald's like around that much right now, like 500 gems, and I don't think he's hit as high of a high as Wonder Woman, but that 8.5% fee is very friendly for people to actually hodl and not constantly flip. You said C3PO, right? So he's at 2.6. Where's Elsa at? Iron Man's hovering around 2.8. Is Elsa really gonna meet up with Iron Man at like 2K? That is nuts. That is crazy. C3PO. Yeah, that's a rough chart. Yeah, that's a gem squeeze for you. And on top of that, I do think yeah, just that pump. Like this pump just happened like just way too fast. And I think a lot of people should have seen this coming, and I should have seen this coming too. Just this pump, it's not going to last forever, especially during a gem squeeze. So I mean, we could see C3PO chill at like 2K to 1800. Worst case scenario, like again, if this gem squeeze continues for another 2 to 3 weeks, he could go down this low. Like I said before, a lot of NFTs tend to get hung up like right here in this like second week of January, this little retest that like it went up then down then like went back up. A lot of NFTs tend to get hung up here as they're going down. So that's why I'm kind of coming up with that number, is probably around here, because any lower than that, now everyone that bought back here, like they're just not going to get enough profit to make it worthwhile. But again, I could be wrong. What up, Execu Speak? Thoughts on Todd right now? Not buying, but it looks like he's trying to stabilize at the moment. I haven't really looked up at Todd, but I'll pull it up. We're to see a big drop like Black Panther drop on Wednesday. What do you think they will have something bigger planned for the weekend? I think so too, Aiden. I think they will have something bigger planned for the weekend, or at least before the end of the month. Wouldn't surprise me at all. Is every collectible down? Is there any that are up? I can check the up chart here in a little bit. Goat of Goats. Dana Marquez comment, hey Vibes, what are your thoughts on Vote Loki UR and SR for long-term or short-term hold? I think it's gonna be more of just a master collector point play. As far as I know, it doesn't have any significant like first appearances. There's nothing really special about it, but it's probably one of the best NFTs for master collector, at least like comparatively to other secret rare and ultra rares out there, right? So let's see here. Todd right now, yeah, he's just consolidating like really hard. I would not be surprised if he went down to like 5k because there's that retest again, right? Like everything that pumped, and there's like this retest that happened right here. Technically it was a bit later with Todd, but I mean it started pumping earlier, so Todd is the one that actually kind of led the pump for everything else to kind of just chase it. So I'm thinking it's going to be right around here. I don't see Todd going below like 5.5k for the most part, but he could. I mean, Todd is kind of a weird scenario because people have been stacking him for like a long time. Like Todd is literally the first NFT on the app, so there are people out there that do have, you know, that do have stacks of Todd. They have 4, 5, 6, 10, 15 of them, you know, more than that sometimes. So a lot of the times when there is a big announcement, they just sell one and they still have 4 or 5 left over, so it's not that big of a deal to them. But yeah, looks like I'm not sure if Todd's necessarily like finding its level necessarily. It's really hard to follow total listings because again, we did have that mass delisting earlier, and it seems like people are just trying to get rid of it. And Todd was at that point where people are starting to get the idea, right? Where, hey, when Todd was at, you know, let's say 8, 9k, just 2 or 3 days ago. Actually, I don't know why this chart says like February 14th. So when Todd was at 10k on February 15th and everything else is still crashing, people in their mind are thinking like, okay, I could keep my Todd at 10k, or I can sell it and I could probably scoop a C3PO, a couple lenticular cards. I could scoop up, you know, 3 Wonder Womans. Like there's a lot of things that are going in their head, right? And so, you know, like you could buy a ultra rare Steamboat Willie, you could buy a C3PO, you could probably get an Iron Man plus something else, all for like 10k. So I think people are selling this off just because people thought that like, hey, if I get these 2 or 3 NFTs, those will actually go up in price more than Todd. Plus, like, Todd is just going to take a while to consolidate. People have been stacking it for a very long period of time. People got it. People knew it was going to be a grail for a long time, so it's going to take a long time for those people that do have stacks to sell them off as well. So, and then over to the Veve set list, talking about the comics. You said Vote Loki. Fantastic Four Annual 13 is actually up there when it comes to like master collector points, like per gem for the most part. But Vote Loki, yeah, it's like right there. So like I said, I think it's more of a master collector point play because what is it right now? 84 gems. Like, yeah, that's super cheap. But again, I think it's more of a master collector point play. Like, I just don't see it skyrocketing just because. Does it have room to grow? Yes. I mean, all of these do. In some way, shape, or form. Like Vote Loki, wow. The rare is at 37. Like, yeah, I don't think it's bad to like stack maybe the rares just because other people are going to buy it, because there's people that check this every so often, just like I do, Veve set list, that tells you what's the best comic per master collector point in general. And so if you buy a couple of these or a few of these, I mean, you might be able to resell them when they get up to like 42, 43, 45. Like, that's actually a big jump here from 42 to 47. And remember, people, if they want to buy these for master collector points, you typically only buy one, because if you buy 2, you get the diminishing return, so you only get 3 points. So a lot of people, I think, are going to buy 1 Loki, 1 Fantastic Four Annual, 1 Uncanny X-Men, 1 Peter Parker. They're just going to work down the list, right? 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. But if you stack multiples of these, you can just be that person that you could always just be that person that's going to sell that one to the person, right? Because people are going to start at the bottom and then work their way up, or I guess technically top down from cheapest to most expensive. So if you're looking for like profit, Daniel, I would, again, not financial advice, I would actually go with the rare. Because I do think the rare could maybe go up to like 40 or 40, you know, assuming people are really bullish on master collector points. But right now we're seeing these jumps between, I mean, that's a pretty big jump, 42 to 47, then it kind of hangs around the 50 for a while. So yeah, not too sure. That's just my thought process. I'm not sure if it's true or not, or if it's the best play, but that's just my thought process on it, personally. Medium's out. Okay, trying to sell 980 Joe Batman, either for Joe Mad Batman, either for 150. Cool. Keep skipping bot sellers. That's nice. It's hard to tell who's like an actual bot. I'm sure you can kind of put 2 and 2 together, but would you pick up common FA Spider-Man or rare FA Spider-Man? Common FA Spider-Man? Rare, because it's just worth more, or are they the same price right now? Am I just going nuts and those things are like the same price right now? Their loss on the unsub, in my opinion, it's great to support Veve. If you're not open to constructive criticism, it hurts your ability to analyze the situation going on. I think so too. That's why I literally gave it 5 seconds of thought. I was just like, kind of read his comment. And I'm like, oh, you unsub, cool, whatever. I don't care. You know, I'm down 1 sub and up almost 2,000. So I am chill with those numbers. Yeah, so Spider-Man common versus, so 590. Where's the common at? Common is, did I pass it? Am I an idiot? 590 for the common. Rare is 874. Right now, like I said before, I would just wait because I do think these will get cheaper. You can't go wrong with either. I do think the rare has the most room to move, but then again, the common is going to be the most stable because a lot of people do want it because, you know, it's the common version of the FA Spider-Man. It's on the loading screen of Veve. That's something I mentioned before that, like, I think at one day I do want to buy all the NFTs that are part of like the Veve loading screen because I do think those will go up. You know, in due time, just like anything else, but I do think there'll be some slight favoritism towards those NFTs in general. 21K comments, comment this, no worries. It's a high mint drop to stop people from crying bots. That too, probably. MTL fees, world events, new drops, stock market tanking, crypto tanking, yet people still wondering why speculative assets are dumping. Exactly. That's the best way to say it. Jam Merit 16. What's up, Vice? How you doing? Hamoon, what's up? Thoughts on number 89 Effie Becky Batman? I think she's good, but just like everything else DC, it's just getting completely dumped on. I think she's, let me check out her chart. She seems to actually be holding up decently well, but she's in that price range now where it's like, all right, do I want to buy a Iron Man for this amount? Do I want to spend the extra 400 and get an Elsa? Do I want to buy a ultra rare Marvel Comics #1? Because I think that's where the price is at now. I wouldn't be surprised if it's higher because it was at 2K last night. I'm gonna look it up while I do this. Yeah, she's not being completely dumpstered, but again, she's getting hung up right here where that retest is, right? Like I said before, during that, I mean, she pumped alongside Todd for the most part, but I think she's getting hung up right here. She could definitely go lower though, just because again, we've had people buying Becky for under 800 for a year, right? People buying her for under 800 for a year. So there are some people that are probably happy to sell her for 1,600, 1,400, 1,500, and just take profit and make a different move, right? So. What the hell was I looking up? Oh yeah, more people adding me on Veve. I like to see it. Appreciate it. I think I got 104 followers now. That's not bad. Comics. What was I gonna do? Marvel Comics #1. I'll show this on the screen here in a sec. Oh shit, forgot to do this. Marvel Comics #1. It's at 1.9, so it's a little bit higher, but still. What was I gonna do? Yeah, this. Work with me. There it goes. All right. Okay, that works. Cool. So Marvel Comics, the The ultra rare is at 1.9k. So that's the thing too, right? So if you're thinking about buying Becky, it's like, all right, you can buy Iron Man for that much. You can spend an extra 400 and get basically either Marvel Comics ultra rare or a Elsa for that amount. Not too sure. I think it's getting stuck up on this retest. I think it could go lower, but I will say this. You know, when you look at charts like this, things that have gone down early and stayed down versus the golden moments, it might just, looking at the hard numbers here, it's just hard to like not pick golden moments. And I know I've been like, I know I sound like a broken record for the last like month, just like golden moments, particular cards, golden moments. But it's true. It's like when you just look at the numbers, you know, when you look at this chart compared to the golden moments chart, it's like, why would you pick it, right? I mean, oh yeah, should probably close that so you guys can actually see. So I'm gonna close this VV set list, don't need that. Let me catch up with chat. It's gonna be, yeah, I would like Executive Speak said. Oh, and my collectibles, if we compare to January 1, everything is up. Hang in. Exactly. You gotta think more long term than that. So I appreciate the $2 my collectibles. I'm sure you did that a while ago, but for some reason my chat just doesn't update like in time for whatever reason sometimes. Yeah, so it's gonna be pumped and dumped on day, drop day. Not gonna look for an entry a week or two. Do I snag anything at all from this drop? Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing. I'm not even gonna touch Black Panther. If I win one, I'll probably just sell it sooner rather than later. But at the same time, like I said, I think you could still pick up Black Panther a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks from now and still get it for pretty cheap. Iron Man though, on the other hand, you can look at the chart here. So of course, like this drop is pretty steep, but it was actually building up quite a bit. But just because we've had this gem squeeze, this MTL lasting for a while, then it started dropping. But like when you look at Becky Cloonan, she was dropping like towards the end of January, like the beginning of the third week of January, she was already going down and down and down and down. So it's a bit more steady, but it's nice to know that in what I see here is that if there is a gem squeeze, if we're just looking at the hard numbers, the golden moments can actually retain their value, and on top of that actually go up in value, holding out for a month. Becky Cloonan in the DC NFTs, unless they're basically Todd or Rizzo, they just can't hold out long enough. People are just more willing to sell those off. Now I think with enough time, and after we've flipped enough times, and like there is significantly less mints of Becky than Iron Man, but I think right now it's still too early in the app. Now these rules could all change, right? After we shake out all the, I hate to use the term paper hand people, but after we shake out all the people that are just here for quick profit, quick flips, that kind of stuff, we get the NFTs in more hands of holders. Rules can change after MTL, right? Because now we might have some big hitters coming to the platform and investing a ton of money. Stacking Deadpool FA comic, 24 gems, let's go, that's smart. Wakanda Forever, yep. Realtor Aaron Baker, common 80 gems, uncommon 65 gems. I think so too. I mean, common could go for more. I just think everything's gonna go low. Like everything's just gonna sell low for Black Panther because we're in the heart of a gem squeeze right now. Ziggy C, the Gale watches the same people I do. Hi Gale, what's up? Oh, the Gale's here, yeah. Wakanda Forever, what's up, dude? We stacking these, fam? Yeah. Dino, sup Zig? Thanks for your knowledge. People hit the like button, of course. Albert, thoughts on recent golden moments in Disney posters? I think they're fantastic, Albert. Like we saw here, like they are the very last NFTs to basically drop due to the gem squeeze, right? But even golden moments, and like right now, what's holding their value very well are ultra rare and secret rare comics. But if this gem squeeze continues, I mean, those aren't completely resistant to people just trying to take profit at any point, right? So given enough time, any of those could drop down. But Albert, I think those are fantastic. I think those are some of the best, I'm not saying the best, but they are some of the best collectibles to get on the app. Disney is extremely collectible. They have a very diehard fan base. There's a reason why Disney owns Marvel and Star Wars and not the other way around. And Disney's going to continually push those products, right? And continually push those IPs, Star Wars, Marvel. And you're also buying into the first appearance of these, right? So if they come out with an Iron Man 3D collectible series or blind box format, like that's going to do really well, but like it's still not the FA. Same thing with C-3PO and R2-D2. Like these are also the first appearance of any Star Wars NFTs. So I understand why people are upset. Disney NFTs pumping. Who told the Veve community that people prefer Disney characters over superheroes? They even have high editions. Stop SR Comics. Top SR Comics, guys. Yeah, Guala. Yeah, I think, but given enough time, SR Comics are just different. They're way less rarity, or like way less mints. There's less movement. There's just not a lot of purchases that happen, right? So, which is why the prices tend to jump up a lot and then go down and all that stuff. And it's just a different animal, right? I think some people like, 3D collectibles are just more sexy. And on top of that, there's just more volatility, which is a good and a bad thing. We're just getting the bad end of it right now, but then again, some of the collectibles could surpass some of the ultra rares and secret rares, given them enough time. It could happen, who knows? But I have seen the comics be much more slow and steady in general. And I think it's up to the person individually whether they think that's a smarter investment or not. Because, 2 months from now, a lot of the collectibles could pass up SR Comics. And now we're going to say, why are you collecting comics? They're so slow. Why don't you get the things that are more volatile or that have a higher ceiling or whatever? Like, people buy these more often than comics. Like you can make arguments for both sides. Comet Rockets, Half-Life 1, Half-Life 1.5, 2, 2.5 are great games. Yeah. No Half-Life 3. We can't have that around here. Meat Angel, what will happen if Disney releases Golden Moments on their own? But now they are attached to a lifetime membership. Veve doesn't have exclusivity as far as I know. Just saying. Like if they release their own like Golden Moments or if they release their own, yeah, it's the Veve, what's it called? NFTs, like these NFTs that are being released by Disney, they're just a partnership, right? It's not, these are licensed by Disney, but they aren't like, I don't know like the terminology of official and licensed and partnered and like all that terminology I'm not familiar with. But yeah, they could come out with their own Golden Moments, but it still doesn't take away the fact that these are the first ones minted on any kind of blockchain. These are the first appearance NFTs of R2-D2 and C-3PO and all these. So Disney could do their own thing, but they're not the first appearance, right? So some people might value that. Some people might want to just stick to the Disney side of like the the Disney metaverse of things and buy the NFTs only off there. Who knows? But it does seem like, unless Disney's been working on it behind the scenes for a long period of time, I do think they are using Veve as a test run to do their own NFTs / their own metaverse. But I do think Veve would lose out on a lot of potential money and big time investors if they won't allow the NFTs to either go to the metaverse or have some sort of interoperability with like the current Disney NFTs that are on the platform right now. I think they would lose out on a ton of money and investors, right? So hey Ziggy, Mark Rogal, what do you think about Spider-Man Uncommon FA versus Spider-Man Common FA? Uncommon's about 150 gems less than the common. What's that all about? Uncommon's still a good buy. Mark Rogal, yeah. They're both good. I would probably just lean more towards the common because it's the more iconic NFT. I know there's a ton of mints of it, but it is on the loading screen. I think the uncommon is just sold off. I don't know. It seems like the market hasn't really recovered from the whole common craze that happened like 2 or 3 months ago with the comics. Like people just started really loading up on comments and then all of a sudden started like putting those to be more valuable than the uncommons, even though like the market cap of like uncommons just seems to make sense, especially since they're typically like half the mints and stuff. So I don't know, that could be another change in the community, right? Because the way the community values things has changed multiple times over the last year. For a long time, it was all about, when Veve first came out, it was all about low mints and not about popularity. Then it kind of shifted to popularity, meaning like back then people were trading 2 Todds for a Nightwing. Now it's not the case. Now it's like, now you can get, nowadays, Todd is nosedived, but a week ago you could essentially get shit, 3 Nightwings for 1 Todd. Like, so things just changed the way people value it. It came to popularity, then it went to FA, then it went to season 1, then it went to the common craze, and then you know, a bunch of things happened. So, but there could be a reversal of just kind of like the universal community consensus of like, hey, we're stacking commons, but like, hey, the market cap of the uncommons is, you know, has a lot of potential, and there's like way less of them, blah blah. Like, all it takes is a handful of people to start buying it, or there's going to be some significant movements of just uncommons across the board, across all IPs. People are going to be like, oh my god, uncommons are pumping. Then people are going to sell off their commons for the uncommons. Like, it happens all the time. You know, people just chase pumps like really, really hard, and FOMO is very, very strong on Veve for the most part. So happy Tuesday. What are y'all stacking? What's up, showroom? Or no, the Veve showroom? What's up? Right now, I'm not stacking anything. I have like 800 gems to my name. Pretty much anything I sell in my vault, except for the Ultra Rare Steamboat Willie, will be at like a massive loss. So I'm just kind of holding off for now. Yeah, not planning on making any like drastic moves in the near future. So I would love to stack more, but as of right now, like, I just don't have the fiat to put in like thousands of gems and just stack golden moments, lenticular cards, secret rare comics. Like, I just don't have that option right now. When will this gem squeeze end? I think closer to MTL. When we get an MTL announcement, we get a firm date. We already got some firm numbers on how to cash out, which is, I think, what exacerbated this gem squeeze. So like I said, until we shake loose all the people that are just here to flip for profit, I don't think we're going to see the market recover hard anytime soon. I think we'll see slight jumps like this. You know, Iron Man went to 1600. We'll see some slight ups and downs and plateaus and stuff like that, but like, we're not getting anywhere up here until we shake loose all the people that are trying to get rid of for profit, right? R2D2 just rose 800 gems. That's sick. Johnny Deep Dish Collectibles, what's up? Everyone's saying what's up to my collectibles. Would flipping Goofy for Elsa or C3PO be a good choice? Yes, it also depends on how much you paid for it, right? If you're in a position like I am, I bought Goofy at like 3.6k, which I just FOMO'd into, and it's not a mistake, but I think the bigger mistake was not selling it when it was at like 4.4k. Like, that was probably the bigger mistake, not buying it at 3.6. But yeah, it depends on how much you paid for. If you're gonna take like a 2,000 gem loss, like I would if you sold it right now, I wouldn't do it. Just hold on to it. It's gonna make great moves. Just give it time. That's the number one thing. Just give it time. Give it time. Mac Juice, good day there. Veve vibes. What you think about Walt? Hoping he drops low enough to grab him for 10k. Seen some go for 13 to 15k low mints. Okay, so 10k USD. So if you buy him like op av. Seen some go for a 13 to 15k low mints at 16. Oh yeah, possibly. I don't know. What's Walt at right now? Walt. He's at 27, so he's still holding pretty strong at that amount. Much love from Rotterdam City, the Netherlands. Nice, I liked it. J East Music, I dig it. Janu, thoughts on FA Joker? I think it's fantastic. It's just going to take a lot of time for it to work up. I think every single DC NFT, other than Todd and Rizzo and maybe some of the Series 1 stuff, they're just going to have to work twice as hard to go up. There's a lot of people that like to flip the DC stuff because it's popular. Joker is no exception. There's a lot of people on the app that are more than happy to buy Joker at 850 and sell it for 910. And it's just gonna have to go through twice as many listings for it to go up in price because of that 2.5% listing thing. You know, if we're talking 5 years in the future, 3 years, 1 year in the future, it really, you know, if we're talking 5 years in the future, it probably won't make that huge of a difference. But knowing me, and I think knowing most of the users on Veve, there's not a lot of people on the platform that have. I will say this, if you don't have the capability to keep putting gems into the app month over month, trying to buy something and hodl long term is going to be very difficult mentally. I've experienced it myself. A lot of other people do. So like, unless you have the capability to put in hundreds, if not thousands of gems into the app every month, if you're buying something to hodl it for a year, 2 years, 3 years, you're always going to be tempted by gem squeezes, new announcements, all that kind of stuff. Like, hey, I have an FA Joker. Then all of a sudden, let's say you just absolutely love Ninja Turtles. They do a Ninja Turtles announcement. You're like, all right, I'm going to sell my FA Joker. I'm going to sell this. I'm going to sell this, you know, even if it's downs, right? So that's why I think the long-term hodlers, the people that are buying and holding long-term, are people that can't afford to put in gems like month over month, that can't afford to put in a bunch of stuff because they're putting in money now because they know they can always just put in more money later, right? But if you don't have that capability, like, you know, let's say you won a couple drops pretty early, like I did, but you can't afford to put in like thousands of gems every month, and all you have to work with is 5,000 gems, 10,000 gems, 15,000 gems. That's all you have to work with, and you're just trying to make do with that. You can still play the long game. Don't get me wrong, but if you are active in the market and you're like trying to do stuff, like you're always going to be tempted to sell your stuff, because you just don't have a fallback plan of just putting in more money, right? So you just don't have that fallback plan. So that's what I see all the time, because I see the same person, you know, not jumping on you, Janu, but it's like someone will say, hey, should I get an FA Joker? And, you know, as a long-term hold, I'm like, cool, yeah, like it's a great time to buy it, go buy it. Then they buy it, then a new announcement comes 2 weeks later, they're like, hey, should I sell my FA Joker? Like, I like this new announcement. Or like, should I sell my FA Joker for this Valentine's Day announcement? Like, people were trying to sell like Iron Mans and stuff, or like try to sell their current golden moments to buy a theoretical floor for the new golden moments. Like, that stuff happens all the time. So I'm not saying if you don't have gems to put into the app that you should just play the flipping game or whatever, but just be wary that if you are buying something for like long term, like you better have some conviction to hold on to it for a long time and weather out these gem squeezes. R2 at 6.8k. Let's go. That's nice. Veve Las Vegas. The Veve community is the best. Stay strong and positive. Enjoy the night. Yeah, appreciate it, bro. R2's got a pump. Yeah. Is Black Panther secret rare a huge rare, Caleb? If it is, it's being birthed into like a really, really rough time. There is quite a few of the secret rares, and on top of that, we're in the heart of a gem squeeze. So, possibly. Yeah, I mean, as of right now, it's too early to tell if it's a grail. Yeah, I would say it's too early to tell if it's a grail. To be quite honest, it's hard to tell. Steve Friedlander, all about Disney. Yes and no. Like, I still like what's just happening right now is that everyone is hyped on Disneylander, all about Disney. Yes and no. Like, I still like what's just happening right now is that everyone is hyped on Disney golden moments, but you know, who knows, 3-4 months later it could all be about DC. Maybe there's not a Marvel or Disney drop for like 2 months and no one's even talking about Disney anymore, and then we're just getting hit back to back to back to back with DC drops, independent artists, and more DC drops, or all kinds of stuff. So like, you know, it's kind of not the flavor of the month thing, but as of right now, like people, you know, it does seem like people are kind of noticing that the golden moments, or like the Disney lenticular cards, have held out the best during a gem squeeze. They couldn't hold out forever, but I mean, the fact that they did go up in value for basically 3-4 weeks straight during a gem squeeze does say a lot. Obviously there is a demand there. So, and like I said before, they're probably going to be the first things to pump when the market does recover. All the grails, including Todd and Rizzo and this and that, plus the golden moments, are all going to pump relatively around the same time. Like, they're going to lead the market recovery first. So I don't know, if, in my personal opinion, just looking at the hard numbers, if I'm gonna invest in something, I'd rather invest in an NFT that's going to be the last thing to drop during a gem squeeze, and the first thing to pump during a market recovery. That's my personal opinion. So, but I'm not saying Marvel is terrible or DC is terrible. Like, those will do well. I think those will just kind of lag behind. That's it. Like, during a market pump, like, those will go up as well, but they're just gonna they just might lag behind by a few days, maybe a week, 2 weeks, who knows. What are your thoughts on Steamboat Willie? Asked Jet21. I like Steamboat Willie. He did get hit pretty hard during the whole tag thing, which makes absolutely no sense. Like, I want him on drop. I knew he was never going to get a tag, but I think people were just looking for an excuse just to sell him off. And the tag thing just happened to be it. Plus, it started getting to the point where, like, once Steamboat Willie got to 10K, people were saying, like, cool, Steamboat Willie's 10K, but like, I could sell this and get some like really good stuff. Like, I could get multiple FA Jokers. I can get, you couldn't afford Todd back then, but like, you could get, you know, back then, like, you could get 2 Becky Cloonans, an FA Joker, 2 lenticular cards, as well as like an Iron Man golden moment, all for one Steamboat Willie when it was at like 9-10K. And people were probably like, yeah, that's a good trade. And in hindsight, yeah, it was. That's a fantastic trade. But now that's not the case. So I do think Mickey Mouse, or the altogether now, ultra rare is always going to position itself price wise around like the upper tier of golden moments, but not R2D2, not Walt, obviously. But I think its price is always going to be somewhere around like plus or minus 1,000 gems of like Iron Man, Elsa, Mickey hat. I do think Donald Daisy could get up to that point as well, but it's just going to take probably like 5-6 months again to kind of shake out all those sellers or those people that did win it on drop that just want to take profit. So, because there was a point where altogether now Mickey was super high, and maybe it could go to that point again, right? It doesn't even have 7,000 mints. So who knows? Between now and July, we could get a ton of just diehard Disney and Mickey fans that could just buy up all together now. So who knows? And that's just kind of an unpredictable factor, right? It's just which communities are going to get involved, because all it takes is like a handful of tweets or a handful of messages on a Disney collectible Discord with 100,000 people. And then all of a sudden now they're talking about Veve. They're like, oh my God, look, they have Steamboat Willie. Like, that's so collectible. Like, even Disney doesn't have a lot of physical collectibles of Steamboat Willie. Like, let's go on here and buy it or whatever it is. So that's some factors you just can't predict, right? You know, and vice versa. We could get a whole bunch of just Marvel diehards and all of a sudden Iron Man pumps. And now that's doing better than Elsa. It's doing, you know, so it's catching up to C3PO. I don't think it'll ever flip C3PO, but it could like catch up or get close. Caleb says Wonder Woman is a steal. Pretty much everything is a steal on the app right now. Anything you buy right now is going to do well. Slight work. What do you think Avengers 8? Do you think Avengers 8 could flip Marvel 1 by end of year? Same money right now, pretty much. 6,000 versus 48K additions. Not that in tune, like I've said before with comics. I know it might seem that way, but like, I don't even know what Avengers 8 is. I'm sure when I look at it, I'll remember, but I don't even know what Avengers 8 is. Avengers number 8. What is that? AD. I don't want AD. Which one is this? Common. Okay, so we'll look at the common really quick. Is that... I see Thor on it. Is that the first appearance of who is that the first appearance of? Of course I'm getting some. Kang. Okay, Kang the Conqueror. Could it flip Marvel Comics number 1 common by the end of the year? Not sure. The rarity does play a big part in it. I would say if you're a comic collector, you just get both. Like, why not? But yeah, I do think there's an argument to be made here. It really depends if Kang like really gets pushed by Marvel to be the next big supervillain, right? I think that's going to be a big factor in it. But then again, I think a lot of people understand the relevance of Marvel Comics number 1 and how important it is to just the comic community in general. Like, both are very big, but I don't know. It's hard to tell. I'm just not too familiar. I've not paid attention too closely to the price action or just comics in general. I think that's a fantastic question for someone like sleeping in comics and or comics and crypto, or my collectibles might have an idea. He pays more attention to that than I do, but cool. Let's see. Slight work. Do you think Avengers 8? Okay, I already read that. Caleb, golden moments or Batman rare FE? Are you asking or are you just saying in general? I mean, both are fine. I just think that, I mean, as you saw in the charts, as of right now, people aren't hesitating to sell off their Batman FEs at any kind of slight sign of a gem squeeze, but people will hold their golden moments slightly longer. At least that's what I've noticed. But then again, the mints on the FE Batmans are very, very low. So, I mean, all it takes is to, I mean, you only need a few thousand people, a couple thousand people for those NFTs to get in the hands of those people to just hold it. And then like now the price could really take off. So Harley Quinn's under 100. Let's see, let's check it out. Obviously not FA Harley Quinn, that would be absurd. But just Harley Quinn in general. R2D2 pumped 1,500 since yesterday. Nice. But you know, just there will people that will take profit eventually. AK Bash, you think Cartoon Network is worth it now that they are low? We'll take a look at those in a minute. Harley Quinn number 12 is almost under 100. It's at 100. Harley Quinn 11 is under 100. Harley Quinn Deluxe is almost under 100. It's at 110 right now. Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's hard to follow along these like other Harley Quinns. Like, oh, is number 12 better than 11? Better than 5? Then better than Deluxe Edition 2? Like, I don't know. The low mid numbers do help it, but at the same time, I do think, yeah, there's just a lot of people just flipping them, in my personal opinion. And outside of FA Harley Quinn, it's going to be really hard, I think, for a good portion of these to like really start like skyrocketing in price anytime soon. Let me get through here. Tran, thank you so much for the £2. I know I'm like falling behind on this, but there's a Telegram group, Veve Pump group. Cool. I don't know what to say about that. That's all right. Don't know what to say about that. You think Cartoon Network is there now? I don't think if I type in Cartoon Network, I still wouldn't invest in Cartoon Network. If you do buy it, you just need to be, again, very quick on the trigger to sell your stuff, because I do think people will buy it and then pump it right away. And that was the other thing I meant to look up too, was which was just top gainers on the hour or whatever as well. Spent 1,300 on a 440 Pluto. Happy with it, as I know there's people that said that paid 15 or 1,500 for floor mint. That's also now thinking I could have bought it. Pretty much, Geo. That's my sentiment. It's just not my game. I don't have the fiat or the money, just in general, in gems to like play the whole low mint game, right? I feel like if you're playing the low mint game, you're in the upper echelon of investors, right? There's a reason why it seems like a lot of the people that flaunt their low mint stuff tend to have a lot of low mints because they can afford it, right? But I feel like for your average user, including myself, like I'll find the lowest mint I can, but for around floor price. Like I'm not paying a 50% premium to get a 400 mint versus a 1400 mint or something like that. Like I'd rather just get a floor mint. That's just my take on it. Yeah, Finn Mertens, gosh, it's almost below 100. Jake the Dog's getting there. I don't know, I kind of just avoided these for the most part. Because again, there are people that, because you know what I would do if I had 700 gems, or if I feel like the market was going to recover in short order or whatever it is, I'd buy Finn at 103, and then I could always just sell it at 120. And there's probably, you know, dozens of other people thinking the same thing, which just makes it gonna have to take twice as long to sell off, right? And any kind of big-ish IP announcement or gesture of showing like some kind of big announcement, these will be one of the first NFTs to get sold off. Like if I'm looking at my vault and I see Finn Mertens, a Cryptkin, Bubbles, I think that's the cheap one, I forgot which one it is, Buttercup, whatever, Spider-Man, Disney lenticular card, or a Ghost Spider, like I'm probably gonna sell my Finn Mertens, my Cryptkin, and like all that stuff first before I sell like my Marvel, my Disney, and all that stuff, because you also get more profit too, right? If you just sell this, it's a 2.5% fee rather than selling your Ghost Spider, which has an 8.5% fee. Even if these were identical price, I would still sell Finn Mertens, because I'm like, well, I do think Ghost Spider might do a bit better. Finn Mertens has a 2.5% fee, so I'm gonna sell that, you know, whatever it is. Omi the Clown, hey man, saw you were streaming. Just a heads up, the data scraping has paused since Veve did their update earlier. Just waiting for the ecomi tech dev to get back up to me to enable it again. I don't know what that means, but it means, I guess, that it's just maybe the listings aren't 100% accurate right now, but I think they're good enough for the most part. I could be wrong, but I think they're good enough. And I'm not going to be on for like that much longer anyway, probably for maybe an hour, a little bit less than an hour. The ecomi charts are way off right now. Shows R2 at 5,200. He's at 6,800. Really? Okay. Maybe maybe we have to go old school with some of this. There's Omi the Clown confirming. Thanks, dude. Yeah, of course. Appreciate it. The reason Spider-Man is more is because it's the only pose. It is the only pose of the series. That, but also He's on the loading screen. And on top of that, he's also the only one that actually has the name The Amazing Spider-Man, because all the other ones have random names, right? Or like different names for the most part. So yeah, the prices are going to be off on here, guys. Ever since Veve did their little update thing this morning, prices aren't accurate on here. So like, don't just take the charts I'm showing you as just fact. So things could have changed a lot. Like you said, R2-D2, the price is much, much higher than kind of what's being shown here. So as far as I know, Golden Moments was a partnership between Veve and Disney to promote Disney Plus. How about these two last Golden Moments drops? They need to label Golden Moments, otherwise there'll be more of the pile. They are listed as Golden Moments, I believe. Let me check. I actually have what are the Golden Moments here? I have Donald and Daisy. They are listed as Disney Plus, yeah, Golden Moments under brand. That's what they're listed as. Yeah, that's what they're listed as, at least under brand. And their series is Valentine's Day, when the series of the other ones were listed as like, what was it, like Disney Animation Studios, and the other one was like listed under like Fox or something like that. I forgot exactly which ones they were. Do you suggest a Golden Moment Lady and the Tramp, or wait for Black Panther? Thanks. I wouldn't, to be honest, I wouldn't buy Black Panther, because I think it's just going to go down in price. You'll probably still be able to buy it, but on drop day, people are going to sell off their Black Panthers, I think, a good portion of the time. And like, you could probably still pick up a Black Panther for cheap 2 weeks from now, in my personal opinion. Relaxed in Mock. I need to remember to say people's names. Was the cash out fee 10%? Yes, Johnny Deep Dish. Yeah, any Golden Moment is a good deal. If anything, if you could afford the couple extra 100 gems, I would go for Donald and Daisy over Lady of the Tramp if you can. But even then, I would still wait. I do think these NFTs could still get squeezed for a little bit longer than what's currently being shown. I mean, Donald and Daisy is at 1K right now, when they were just at like 1,300 2 days ago. Like, I do think the gem squeeze is still continuing and still happening. So you still have plenty of time, at least in my opinion. With the exception of like the super high-end like Golden Moments, like R2-D2, like I just don't see them just like completely just skyrocketing overnight, but it could happen. It would not surprise me. Let's see. Where's the Golden Moments? Yeah, it's at 6.6K right now, so kind of slow down, it seems, for R2-D2. What's the lowest dip you see in the market doing realistically in the next month? If MTL arrives, could you see another 70% dip? Also, what do you expect from the next market pump? Maybe 5x? It's hard, it's impossible to tell the market pump. How quickly, how much, depends on how much money is in the app, depends if there's any kind of promotion going on, if celebrities get on board, if people get wind of like MTL and you can cash out 50K a week. There's a lot of different things that can go into the pump. All you have to know is that it's gonna go up, and that's it. But drop, like right now, I think Finn Mertens has hit a level of, I think it's hit its bottom. It could go down a bit lower, but I don't know. I guess people have been buying Finn Mertens for the cheap, or on the cheap, for a while. I think Finn Mertens has kind of hit its bottom. But I could see, yeah, some NFTs dropping down to roughly just shy of what they were in like early December. Let's say that, like roughly around that price. I don't know. All NFTs across the board, no matter what the release date or IP, what their IP is, they're all going to drop 70%. Like, I can't give a blanket statement like that. I just don't know. Gravematic is altogether now worth buying in this dip. I personally feel like it's the real FA Mickey. Well, it's been like officially confirmed by Veve that Disney told them that their version of FA Mickey is the partner statue. So, you know, again, I've said this before, it's not what I think is going to happen. It's what I think you know, it's what the community believes, right? Now, you might be right, but you need to convince like the other like 2 million people on the app that like that is also the first appearance of Mickey, right? Historically, it's the first appearance of Mickey, but maybe it's not the first appearance of Mickey on the blockchain in an NFT format and, you know, as a 3D NFT. So that might not be the case. So, yeah, I mean, you have to, if you can convince a bunch of other people to do the same, then yeah, that I agree. But I don't think it's a bad time to buy. I would still wait if you have 4,000 gems. Like you could wait. Like I mean, hell, Steamboat Willie could go down to 3. It's already has gone down to 3.5, but it could go down to 3.1 or something like that. You could get a better deal. I would just hold off on it for now. Diego Galvin, I'm at the point where I don't want to sell anything anymore, so I'm relying on drop dates, and that's a good window on the day to flip low mints for more gems. Yeah, I'm the same way. I used to like try and snipe stuff on the market. It's so hard to snipe stuff on the market with comics because if you click on the comic, then you have to scroll down and click buy and then purchase, and like I usually just don't get those. I have a much easier job flipping the 3D collectibles when they get released on the market. Can't believe C3PO is 2.6K. That's so ridiculous. Yep. You know, there was just that huge pump that happened in January, so. But that's to buy a Mickey hat, and it just went from 2.3 to 3K. Wow. I haven't looked that closely at all the golden moments. I mean, are golden moments pumping right now? Yeah, it's at 3K right now. What's Iron Man at? Iron Man's still chilling at 1.7. Elsa, she's at 2.1. Wow. I mean, C3PO's at 2.7. Yeah, so it seems like some of the upper end golden moments are going up a little bit. It's not a, I'm not saying this is a point to like panic and just start buying the other golden moments, but this is kind of what I'm talking about, right? When things are pumping, you know, I would still give it time though. We still have the Black Panther announcement. We still got possibly a Miles Morales or just another announcement on the weekend. So, typically I found you tend to get burned if you try to chase a pump like this. Even if you do buy something adjacent, like, oh my god, because R2-D2 and Hat is pumping, that must mean Elsa, C-3PO, and Iron Man are going to pump as well. It could be. Or maybe they never will because they're so far lagged behind, and by the time you know, tomorrow comes around, they announce Miles Morales, and like those NFTs just don't have time to pump. So could you have a look at Professor? He's holding pretty strong. No, possibly. I don't know. I'm not very bullish on any of the Adventure Time, Powderpuff Girls, Cartoon Network, anything like that. People have just been using those to flip for a long time. I feel like if there was any relevance to low mints and that kind of stuff, they would have been holding their value through this gem squeeze and over the last year, but that just has not been the case. When you have newer IPs that are dropping, that are more popular with higher mints doing better than NFTs that have been on the platform for over a year, and with lower mints, the low mints aren't going to carry them enough. So, I mean, I'll pull up Professor, or I'm assuming you mean Professor Utonium. We'll check. We'll look at his thing. But even with 450 mints, I mean, he's at the same price as below. He's cheaper than C3PO right now, and he has 450 mints. I mean. So there's the ridiculous pump that happened up here, all the way up to 5K. Let's open this. But then again, I could be wrong. You know, with all this, again, this whole market is 110% speculative, for the most part. So listings went to an all-time high when during, obviously, the gem squeeze. They're still pretty darn high right now. I'm not sure if it's necessarily holding. I mean, just because it's flat for a couple days. Let's see here. Let me scroll over. If it's flat, it just means like no one's just buying it. I think flat doesn't mean that that it's like doing well. It just means like over the course of those like 2.5 days, 3 days, just no one's buying, or no one cares to undercut or whatever. I don't know. I could be wrong. I mean, it is one of the few NFTs that's just flat right now. But when I see charts like this, like, all right, it's going up, and you know, it goes down, or now there's a gem squeeze, or you can almost see the big announcements happening, right? Like December 13th was 12 days of Veve. Listings skyrocket. People are trying to take profit. Okay, things are finally settling down. Everything on the app legitimately pumped during January. It's going down, and now we have other announcements of the lenticular cards as well as the Marvel Mighties. Listings skyrocket. Like, I'm not trying to invest in NFTs that that just listings skyrocket whenever there's an announcement. You know, that's just my take on it. And plus, I think there's people that are way more familiar with Mickey and Spider-Man and Batman and all those other things than Professor Utonium. I don't know. I don't think, as of right now, low mints isn't enough to make Professor Utonium worthwhile. I feel like Steamboat is undervalued and could fly later. I think so too, Sat Gaming, which is why I'm holding it right now. I'll be honest, there's times where I entertained selling it. Ever since it was at like 9K, I thought about selling it like at least 10 or 15 times, but I just held on to it. Red Adventures, I'm holding on to 3 Whistling Commons. Uncommons, Long Hodl, I agree. At WeBuy, what do you think the price correction will come in short term? Da Vinci Rewind Collection. A dry long hold? I don't know what a dry long hold means. I think a price prediction will come in short term. At WeBuy, I'm not sure what you mean by that. I don't know. We can look at Rewind logo really quick. I do like some of the I don't even know how to pronounce it. I think it's Givenchy, not reward, rewind. I do think those could do pretty well, because I know at least the artist that did the beauty one, the Pride one, has had some success in like OpenSea, as far as I know. I don't know. I haven't done that much heavy research into it. Rewind logo, oof, where's this at? Even though there is like a Rewind logo drop happening next month, or just a Rewind collective something or another, like, I don't know. To be honest, I've done hardly any research at all whatsoever into like these NFTs, so I can't really speak on it. Do they have some, I do think they have some room to like grow and do well, and I do think they'll probably do the best. They'll probably be one of the better NFTs to invest in that's not Disney, DC, Marvel. But yeah, but like, it just makes me worried when I see these massive spikes and they go down. It's almost like someone's pumping it via Twitter or other means. It's like pumps and goes down, pumps and goes down, pumps and goes down. It's like, yeah, I mean, it's holding decently well. I think it's mostly because we just have so many people that bought during pumps and they're just like not going to sell. Like, they're just holding the bag and they're just waiting for it to go back up. So I don't know. I don't really have like a huge opinion on Rewind logo. I would still just buy a Golden Moment or buy Lenticular card. It's much more stable than this, whatever the hell this is. And so, yeah, I mean, it seems to be obviously a big thing in like the LGBT community thing, which is great. Don't get me wrong. And it has what, 1,978 mints. Again, even the low mint stuff, like stuff that's like super low mint, it doesn't seem to be doing all that great. I don't know. Like, look at the listings too. Literally an all-time high, 112 listings. People are really just trying to get rid of this during this last pump. Yeah, it's just crazy to see. Like, it goes up, then the second people see you know, an ounce of profit, those listings really go up. Come on. Those listings like really go up, then goes down, then it pumps again, listings go up, people are just trying to take profit. This one's probably the most egregious of it, where it's like, I think just because the gem squeeze, you know, the Rewind collective thing is gonna be happening next month, so people hopped on the hype train, went up, people are gonna take profit, which is why the listings are at an all-time high. So I don't know, if you're looking for something stable, Rewind logo is not it, but I don't know, if you believe in the cause, or if you feel like you can time the market pretty well during these pumps, you can maybe buy into it. I don't know. Can you check out Marvel Mighties? How much for that whole collection? Saw Green Goblin at $4.90. We'll look at Marvel Mighties like very quickly. I'm not gonna break down like every single one and take out a calculator and add up the math on the whole thing, but you can go to vevesetlist.com, and I think that has the different Marvel Mighties on there and tells you like how much it is for each set. So I think this one, there you go. If you go on there, it'll tell you like how much it is for the Fantastic Four set, how much for the Spider-Man set, and then how much for the Captain America set on there. But Marvel Mighties, yeah. Ghost Spider at 82 gems. Whew, that's so cheap. Spider-Man 2099 at 1700. Normal Spider-Man at 110. Green Gobbo sub 500. That's crazy to think about. Where's my man Doctor Doom? Where's Doctor Doom at? Dude, he is holding his value very. He's actually really holding his value. I thought he would be closer to like 650, maybe not 650, but like maybe 700. But that's really impressive, actually. Yeah, I mean, he's still, you know, it's still rough, but man, he pumped up to 1400, quite a bit. But he's still not at 50% from his all-time high. A lot of NFTs are at like, you know, they're 60% off from their all-time high. This one's only like 40, so. I'm glad I sold my Lady in the Tramp for 1900, but got for 2.3. It's at 757 gems. Yeah, I could see that. Daniel Marquez, Story of 5. I'm a Disney fan and I haven't bought a DC ever. But after looking at her for a few days, I finally got Catwoman. Her chart seemed okay. Her new movie is coming out. I'll keep her for the long term. Yeah, Story 5. I remember you asking me about Catwoman the other day. I still think it's a fine buy. And like for 100 gems, I think she's 100 gems, right? Maybe a bit more. Yeah, for 200 gems. She's actually been, I remember when she was sub 100 gems. I remember telling people to buy her like early December, like, hey, I think this is actually a pretty good buy for sub 100 gems. Yeah, like early December, I was like, I think I was either mid or early December, I was telling people like, hey, it's around 100 gems, it's pretty good. She's actually held her value pretty strong considering DC. Again, I do think she's going to start getting hung up right around here, like maybe like 180, maybe 200. So she could dip down a little bit more, but I do think her chart is actually pretty strong. I agree. Listings are pretty high. The delisting feature kind of helped it out a bit. It's kind of helping some NFTs. But yeah, for like 240 or 220, it's not a bad buy. If Catwoman had a more aggressive chart and she was closer to like 1,000, I'd be like, like I do think there's other things that are better to buy for 1,000, but I do think Catwoman is probably one of the stronger buys for around 220 for sure. Either that or you can stack, you know, a Spider-Man, a Ghost Spider, plus something else cheap. Yeah, I don't think that's a bad buy either. Plus, what's in that vault, right? People want to know what's in the vault. Will it show the picture? Yeah, what's in the vault? Some people got some theories about what's in that vault below Catwoman. So, check Superman. What was his highest before it dropped, please? I think it was 8.6K. I could be wrong. I have a few Iron Man, a couple R2, and a few other golden moments. Do you think it's a good idea to sell all for my third Walt and Mickey? I don't care about sex or collecting. I know how big Walt is. Ivan Anderson, if you have the ability to put in more fiat onto the platform, maybe I might. I mean, it does seem like R2 is up a bit right now if you can afford to sell it. Iron Man has a little bit of room to grow, but not as much as obviously R2, right? If you can pull it off, I probably would, just because again, Ivan, it seems like if you are able to put in more money into the app, it's going to be infinitely easier to pick up an Iron Man or an R2 later versus a Walt, right? So at least that's my take on it. Let's see. Am I like missing something here? I lost my spot on the chart. Okay, here it is. Yeah, but Ivan, I don't think it's a bad idea at all. If you can afford a third Walt, I would say go for it. That was me who sold you that Pluto. Hang in there. When prices go up, it'll be worth the low mint and sequence numbers, collectors. Yeah, I think sequence numbers and stuff like 1, 2, 3, 4 or whatever are pretty cool. There are people out there like that. It's just going to take you a while to sell it, at least if you want to get a premium for it. What do you think when we'll have cash out option? Keep up your videos, watch you every day. Thanks, BMN. I don't know. It depends on how probably this beta test plays out this week, because I think that's where like the second wave of beta testers are doing their thing right now. And yeah, hopefully early next month, hopefully. Best case scenario, I don't know how far along they are in the process. The sooner the better, so that way the market can actually recover. What's your view on DaVinci Rewind collection? I already answered that earlier. Hi Veve Vibes and Veve Fam, just drop by to say hi. Unrelated note, you're so close to 2K subs, so proud. Thank you. Yeah, I am very close to 2K subs. I don't know if I'm gonna do anything necessarily for it. I think it's fun, but it's exciting to be at 2K. Diamond Inc. OC. True hero. True bro. That is correct. Great content and analysis. Thanks. Rich Buddy. What up, dude? What's up, Rich Buddy? Virtual box breaks. I sold both of my Steamboat Willie at 9K and Goofy at 3.5K. Have around 25K in gems. Should I pick anything up that's worth, or just keep waiting? Sorry, been traveling. Haven't seen market much. Well, that's a very good thing, because you probably would have been caught up with like everyone else. Virtual box breaks. If you want to get one NFT, obviously Walt. I do think Walt could potentially hit 25K over the next few weeks, assuming this gem squeeze continues and everyone's just kind of in a holding pattern for MTL or whatever it is. But I would just hold off on it for now. If you got 25K gems, it depends. I don't know. Like I said, if you're completely fine with just buying Walt and just being done and that's it, and that's what you want to do, great. That would make it super simple. Walt is, I do think Walt, given enough time, will probably be alongside, you know, Secret Rare, Marvel Comics #1, you know, the other big Secret Rares, but it will probably be the crown jewel of Veve, I think, in soon. I think it'll be more, I think it'll cost more than Secret Rare Spider-Man, sooner rather than later, in my personal opinion. So if you want to buy like one big NFT, like, and you got 25K gems, I do think you could, you know, getting a Walt is a very good thing. But if you don't want to just buy one NFT and you want to diversify a bit and get a few things, you can never go wrong with Golden Moments, lenticular cards, Todd, you know, the high-end DC, you know, the first series drops. You can't go wrong with, you know, some of the early Spider-Man FAs and stuff like that. Maybe grab a FA Deadpool here and there. I mean, hell, you can get a Secret Rare Deadpool right now for like 16K, or not 16K, 1600. If you like Deadpool, like there's so many good things on the app right now. So if you don't want to just get Walt, yeah, I mean, you can diversify with that many gems. You could diversify quite a bit. Yeah, you could probably buy the whole Golden Moment set a few times over, if you know, excluding Walt. So, will Black Panther comment go for under retail? You think there are so many? I don't think it'll go for under retail, but it'll probably go for like 60, 65 gems. Maybe. I'm considering buying another Iron Man soon, hoping it drops a bit further first. Yeah, dude, I think we all are. I think we're all waiting. I only have 800 gems to my name. I'm kind of upset with myself because, like, I kind of just pulled the trigger too soon. I told myself multiple times I had 2K gems 4 days ago. And I told myself, like, I'm gonna hold, and then sure enough, I bought a Donald lenticular card for 600 gems, which at the time was like 15% below floor. I probably should have just relisted it and taken the quick profit. And then I bought something else too. I forgot what it was. I think it was just another Donald lenticular card at the time. But now I'm kind of kicking myself because I'm like, I still think the Donald cards are going to do fantastic, but it's like, shoot, if I just waited, hell, I could have bought an Iron Man and a Donald lenticular card, right? I don't know. Pride will be a good buy. They should go up when they release the next Rewind collection drop. Yeah, we'll see. I hope so, Beardo. Right now, I just want any kind of volatility in the market. I do want things to pump. Like, even if it's something I haven't invested in, I just want some sort of market movement to give some people some confidence again to start investing into the market. Because right now, there's just like hardly any buying pressure happening right now. Sorry, someone asked earlier about Superman, and I meant to pull that up, and I forgot. Oof, he's at 3,500 right now. Johnny Deep Dish, do you know how that compares to selling NFTs on other platforms? Probably close to the same fee. I have no idea. I'm not involved with other NFT platforms or projects, so I don't know. Yeah, Superman's all-time high, yeah, it was 8K, which is up there. Listings are down a lot, but I think, because I guess, like I said again, I think it's the delisting feature on Veve. If you haven't sold if the NFT hasn't sold in 30 days, which happens to just so much line up as, you know, the all-time high of Superman, right? All the people that listed around this time are now getting delisted because it hasn't sold in 30 days. So yeah, all-time high for Superman was 8K. I don't know about the fees. As far as I know, the fees 10%. I'm fine with it personally. I'm fine with 10%. But Sleeping at Comics has a really good video talking about it, about 10% fee. He said, as of right now, like, you know, to some people that might seem high, to some people it might seem fine. But I mean, that's the fee you kind of have to pay being in a speculative market that allows you to basically 5x your money in a couple weeks. Like, that could very easily happen, right? Especially if you're buying during a time like this, you know, a month or 2 months later, you can easily 2, 3, 4x your money if you buy the right things. But at the same time, Sleeping in Comics did mention, I think part of the reason why the fees might be high is because of 2 reasons. One is, you know, there's not a lot of regulation when it comes to the NFT just world. And then B, not a lot of competition. There's just not, like, yeah, there's Recur, but I mean, do they even have NFTs right now, like on the platform, or, you know, or print minted or anything? I don't think so. Other than their Recur passes, I don't think they have anything going on. So as of right now, like, just Veve has really no reason to drop their prices, you know, if they don't want to. I'm, you know, he did mention too, if enough people in the community did voice a concern and, you know, it's a Twitter and online riot, maybe they'll lower it, but overall, I don't know. How would you value Lady and the Tramp? Could it have some value as Homer and Bart because it is original Disney? I think Lady and the Tramp is above Wall-E, Pizza Truck, Avengers logo, and skateboard. Villy, I don't think so. Personally, I probably put Lady and the Tramp, I don't want to say at the very bottom, but I do think it's towards the bottom with skateboard and Avengers logo, but it might be cheaper. The reason I say that is literally Lady and the Tramp has only ever had, as far as I know, 2 pieces of like media show printing ever. Was like 55 when it like first aired, and like 2019, and that's the only time Lady and the Tramp has ever had any exposure or anything like that, as far as I know. So basically, unless you're a fan of the 1955, or like, a lot of people know Lady and the Tramp, but how many people like really love it or go out of their way to get it, or whatever it is, right? It just hasn't been pushed by Disney enough for it to be super popular, in my opinion. Even though it's a double FA, is it FAs that people really are going to care about or go out of their way to purchase, right? There's, you know, potentially other better buys out there. As much as I hate to say it, I do think Lady and the Tramp is probably like in the bottom 2 or 3 on the list. That's just my opinion. But when we look at something at Wall-E, which is a bit more recent, I do think it's been in multiple movies. I think there's gonna be another movie of Wall-E coming out soon, right? So like already, like, Wall-E's gonna have more kind of appearances and probably get pushed more by Disney than Lady and the Tramp, it seems. But I wouldn't put it up that high, Billy. At least me personally. Again, just my opinion, not financial advice. But Brayden, do you see Andre Drake posted a vid on Veve Monday took it down because his rate on it was like 84% instead of his normal 97? Really? Sweet. Well, how do you know that? Do you think he just took it down because his overall rating was down 13% more than usual? I don't think so. I don't know. I could be wrong. I don't know anything about the video or whatever, but I'm just kind of curious where you heard the reason why he took it down. I think it's kind of a silly reason just to take down a video because it's down 13% from its normal average, right? I could be wrong. Please check Green Goblin. He's one of the coolest villains on the app. Yeah, I think I had him up earlier. Maybe I just had it up on my phone and maybe that's not the case. Green Hob. I was gonna put Hobgoblin. Yeah, he's sub 500 right now. I think it's a good time to buy. It's a good time to buy anything right now in the app. But if I had to pick things in order to buy, it'd go Golden Moments, Lenticular cards, then Marvel Mighties of a certain kind. You know, don't go, you know, don't spend all your money on like Eternals Marvel Mighties. I think those are probably the least popular ones, at least from my perspective or my opinion. I would probably focus on like the villains first, or at the very least some of the popular FA superheroes like Ghost Spider, Spider-Man 2099, Steve Rogers, that kind of stuff. Maybe some of the Fantastic Fours, because there's a movie of them coming out, I think, this year as well. But yeah, I mean, it's not much to see here. Listings are relatively flat. Pricing is going down. There's a gem squeeze. So, like, I don't mean to sound bored or like impatient or anything like that. Probably because I do have to pee, and I probably will take a break here in a second to go do that. But yeah, it's just across the board. It's a good deal across the board. Anything you buy will go up in value a month from now. If you just buy anything, what's the best thing to buy? You know, that's the real question, right? What's the best thing to buy? And in my personal opinion, I know I've been beating it like a dead horse, but Golden Moments lenticular cards, and then probably Villain Marvel Mighties, followed by the Hero FA Appearance Heroes of Marvel Mighties. Then, you know, yeah, I'll put Spider-Man up there with like the Marvel Mighties. It depends if you like Spider-Man and stuff like that over Marvel Mighties. And then like the DC stuff. To be honest, like I would probably invest in that stuff last. Not that I think it's the worst, but that's just personally what I would invest in. How long is this bear market gonna last? Moving money to my bank is slow, and I need time to buy this dip. Got 6K on the way, maybe 10K by the end of March. Oof. End of March might be a little long. It really depends on the timeline with MTL. So you might have enough time, Sinful Mawile. You might have some time. It really depends on the kind of like the scheduling with it really depends on like the scheduling with MTL. Hey Monica, sorry I didn't see you. I'm not feeling too well, mostly listening. Cool. Yeah, Green Goblin is super cool, very low value. Yeah, everything is low right now. Green Goblin, very low value, very few mints. One of the most popular Spider-Man villains. I agree. I'd probably put it above Red Skull, but below gosh, Doctor Doom. You know, at least according to the villains. So yeah, I thought the low mints would kind of carry it and make it more expensive than Doctor Doom, but you know, it happened during a gem squeeze. So app is down. Is it? App is working? Let's see. I think my app is working. I mean, it was down earlier. I mean, they did that update or whatever you want to call it earlier today. Is there an app update? Let me check the Google Play Store really quick. That's another thing Veve could do a better job of, is like actually notifying you when there's an update. Nope, doesn't seem like there's an app update. Agreeing regarding your rerun logo, Pride is the grail in that set. I'm going to grab their next release, not their old ones. I prefer not on a card. Yeah, I could see that as well. Da Vinci told sounds like Givenchy. Okay, cool. Not that it matters. I can't afford their $16 hoodies. Yeah, Givenchy. Yeah, I think that's how it's pronounced as well. Someone's saying Coca-Cola holding strong. Really? I don't think it's so much they're holding strong. It's more that like they're literally just low. They're literally just at their all-time low, and anyone that is trying to sell at this point is just like losing lots of gems. So I think this is their all-time low. Like I don't think. I think that is why it's kind of like plateauing. Is like, yeah, the common has never been this low in its history. So 114, 112 right now for a common slow globe. Even when it came out, I mean, at its lowest point, you know, during January or whatever, it never went below like 130, but now it's down to 112. So I think that's why it's holding strong, is because it just can't go any lower. Listings are pretty low too, but yeah, it just can't go any lower. Let's look at the rare. Your thoughts on Iron Man? John, I think it's a fantastic NFT. Any of the golden moments are fantastic. Well, as of right now, I would try your best to get an Iron Man, an Elsa, or C-3PO. Those are probably some of the most undervalued golden moments on the app right now. You know, maybe Mickey Hat too, but I would probably put those three first. And then, but if you can't afford those for whatever reason and you still want to buy an NFT, shoot for Donald and Daisy. I do think that one will be like, you know, I said it yesterday too, or maybe the day before, but I did say that Iron Man, Elsa, Sorcerer's Hat, and Donald and Daisy are going to fight for that number 4, 5, 6, 7 spot for a while. It's going to be happening probably all the way through the end of the year. So I do think Donald and Daisy, it's just going to take longer to get to that point, just because there's so many mints and it's got to shake off all the people that are going to sell it for profit. But I do think Donald and Daisy is in that upper tier. Me personally, again, could be wrong, but I think Iron Man is fantastic. Any of the golden moments are good, though I wouldn't say necessarily avoid, but I think gem for gem, you know, I probably wouldn't get, God, Lady the Tramp is just so cheap right now. I probably just wouldn't get skateboard or, you know, Pizza Planet truck and that kind of stuff necessarily. Like, only get those if you like literally can't afford any of the other golden moments, but if you can make up those couple extra gems, like just get an Iron Man. Collect what you love and you can't go wrong. Nail butt, yeah, true. I mean, more or less. Yeah, I would agree with that sentiment. It depends. Yeah, if you enjoy it, it's just hard, you know, it just sucks because sometimes it is hard to enjoy that NFT you have, especially if it's just like nosediving and it's just not performing as well as a different alternative. But yeah, it depends on kind of like where your God, I'm trying to think of the term. I just can't think of it right now. Sold a bunch of things and bought back low mint at way below floor price of same items. Already paid off. Hell yeah, that's good. Virtual box breaks. Thanks for the advice. Just subbed. We'll be watching you more often. Really enjoy your content. I appreciate that, virtual box breaks. I appreciate that. I'm glad this is helpful to you guys. Like, I know I'm just sounding like a broken record, but there's just not much to go off of right now. I've actually been meaning to do this since I literally started the stream. The top gainers. I know the information on these graphs are not entirely accurate because they are behind. Omi the Clown, who is the person that kind of runs this whole website, did say it hasn't been updated since basically the update this morning. So yeah, so Supergirl's up a bit. So realistically, like R2D2 would be on this list right now as well. So I don't know, maybe we shouldn't look at this just because it is a bit outdated. Like there's already been a bunch of things that have moved in the meantime. So maybe for now we won't do it. Check Batman Rizzo. What was the highest it went to? Let me look at Rizzo really quick. All-time high was like 30K, right? No, I don't think it was that high. I think it was like 25 or something. The MTL fees are going to the MTL provider and should lower in the future with Veve growth and track record regarding money transfer. That's what I'm thinking too, Drew Pair. I'm sure it's not just like Veve just wants to just take as much profit as possible. Like they just don't seem like the company that's just trying to take like the short-term profits, right? 24K is the all-time high of Rizzo. A lot of resistance in here around 20K. Also, check out for me, Secret Rare Goofy was the highest it went to. Thank you. I think it was 4.4K for Goofy. I get what you mean. I don't take like, this is actually decent because actually like Rizzo actually held his value at 24K for like actually a few days. It's not one of those all-time highs where it like went all the way up, it stayed there for like 6 hours and then like went back down, right? Goofy right now going for 1800. Geez, that's actually gone up a little bit. I think not much, but it has gone up a tiny bit. All-time high 4400. Like I said, I own a Goofy. I've looked at the chart quite a few times. Yeah. Donald and Daisy has a big price wall at 1K. Not one person, but it looks like no one wants to sell this piece below 1K. Yeah, it seems like it. I agree. Cool, Mo. Kid Rascal 2.0. Hey, Veve Vibes. How do you think about the comics? Like, what do I think? I think they're fantastic. It just like, as long as you focus on like the ones on like the top, and like me personally, I don't know, like there's different thoughts of comics. Either you stack like commons and uncommons, or you're gonna use that as like your little wallet, right? You just sell those off a little at a time whenever you need enough gems for the next drop, whatever. But there's also the kind of thought where it's like, I'm just gonna invest in secret rares and ultra rares of like the top 6 comics, right? Fantastic Four #1, #5, Amazing Spider-Man #1, Marvel Comics #1, as well as like Daredevil #1. Like, I'm sure there's others I'm missing too. Yeah. So I think they're great. I'm just trying to figure it out myself. I'm probably not that big of a fan of like, oh, stacking a bunch of commons to like sell off a little bit at a time here and there. Like, that's not my style. I think eventually I do want to invest in comics more on like the ultra rare side of things. I can't afford most secret rares, so. What's the cheapest NFT? It might be a good opportunity to buy 1 to 2% of the entire supply of an NFT if it's cheap enough. You could try, but usually it's cheap because there's so many of them. Sinful Mawile. Even then, there's always more people to just undercut you, right? I don't know what's like the cheapest collectible. I mean, we can actually check collectibles on Veve set list. Yeah, it's not right. Looks like maybe the cheapest actual, at least according to this, and I could be wrong, right? When I look on collectibles, and them just being, you know, solo, just as a standalone thing, you know, excluding the Black Panther because that price is not updated. Seems like the cheapest collectible that's not a comic right now is the Eternals Kingo. Kingo? Yeah, I think it's Kingo. That's like the cheapest one on the market at 22 gems. It seems like non-comic. If we look at comics, and we go by trying to exclude the, I guess we just let it just go by price, right? Uncanny X-Men at 950. Yeah, Kingo is the cheapest one per MCP, but if we look at comics, the cheapest comic is the Uncanny X-Men number 170. You know, both these Uncanny X-Men at like 10 gems or whatever. So, and there's 21,000 editions of that, but Kingo, there's 18,000 editions. So, yeah, I don't know, like buying up, like trying to corner the market or whatever, like you're always going to get outnumbered, right? Like even if you did buy, what, like you said, 1 or 2% of the market value, which would put you at what? Like, let's say you owned 300 of these, which is 2%, right? Roughly, just shy of 2%, like 1.5%. There's still 17,000 other people that could just undercut you at any point or just take a profit. So it's like, I don't know. That, you know, if you buy, you know, 1 or 2% of the stuff, that's usually more relevant when there's like less mints and there's like less competition. If there's 100 mints of something and you can own 2% of it, now you have 2 versus 1, or if you own 5%, like that's a big deal. But there's just so many people willing to just sell this for profit. You know, there's just too much competition. Let's see. Brayden, no, he posted on YouTube that he took it down specifically because it was down 13%. Check out his channel. Okay, cool. I haven't really looked at it. Yeah, but that's kind of a silly reason to take it down, in my opinion. I don't know. Like, maybe that's just because, I don't know. Maybe I'll check it out later. Chase Tomlinson, Golden Moment Steamboats and You Are Invisible Woman. All great buys currently. Everything is cheap now, but those are my focuses. Invisible Woman, really? I'm not bullish at all whatsoever on Invisible Woman. I just don't think she has a ton of room to grow, in my personal opinion. Yeah, I mean, she had an all-time high of 648, but that's because she was literally riding the very tail end of the biggest pump the market has ever seen on Veve. Literally during this like January, like 5th to like 19th, there was a huge pump on the market. Like everything was pumping, and like some things were delayed. Most of the grails pumped first, and then the A tier NFTs and the B tier NFTs, then whatever else. Why is this not? Or because I spelled invisible wrong. I'm not trying to like shit on your investment or whatever, but like it's me personally, I'm not that bullish on Invisible Woman. I mean, she might see a slight pump if they announce Human Torch, Mr. Fantastic, or The Thing as part of that same set. But even then, I mean, it could take Veve a year to finish that set. Like there's still sets on Veve that are still like not finished. They've been on Veve for a long time. But yeah, ultra rare like that. The all-time high lasted. How long? So that all-time high lasted for. Come on. Is this right? Maybe zoom in a bit more. Okay, yeah, I think I was like too far. So if you look at this, that all-time high when it was like above 550 lasted for 8 hours. And then it started immediately going down from there. Not too bullish on Invisible Woman. I do think even if it's just gonna take her so long to get back up to, honestly, even in my opinion, up to 300. It's gonna take her so long, even to get back up to, I think, yeah, 300. It's gonna take her a while because I think there's just better buys on the market, for Invisible Woman, or other than Invisible Woman. That's just my take on it. Like when I see a chart like this, it's just like hard trending downward, and like Invisible Woman is, let's just say she's one of the more forgettable superheroes on the app right now. As much as I hate to say it, like I know some people might like her or whatever, but it's like, it's only going to get worse, I think, if there's like Mr. Fantastic and like the other ones on the app, like comparing her to those. I just don't see it. Again, I could be wrong. Like, yeah, she is like very low. Like, oh my God, like she's like a third of the price from her all-time high. But that's, again, she joined in during a time when there was just a massive market pump. There's a decent amount of hype around her, because there was already Sue Storm, and like that pumped, and like people were just in a spending mood for like 3 weeks. People were just buying everything on the app, but then that kind of was short-lived. So that's just my take on it. I do think Steamboat Willie, Golden Moments and stuff are great, but Invisible Woman, not too sure of. And again, I'm not trying to like just shit on it, but that's just my take. Thank you. Just bought a snow globe. Yeah, it's literally at an all-time low. It literally cannot go any lower right now. So, what do you think of C3PO? Good buy at 2,600 gems. It's a fantastic buy. Any of the golden moments, especially Iron Man, Elsa, C3PO, Sorcerer's Hat, all fantastic buys right now. I think Dawn on Daisy are a good buy right now as well. I mean, so is Homer and Bart. Like, you know, they're all pretty good buys, but those are the four I would shoot for, in my personal opinion. Black Panther drop has so many gems, or so many mints. Prices will probably be surprisingly low after drop. I think so too, Pixel Trader. I think people, even though like, yeah, Black Panther is huge, I think people are underestimating how hungry people are for just any kind of way to sell for profit or get gems, right? So that's why I think the common is going to be hugging pretty close to box price, especially the uncommon too. Yeah, Las Vegas, we're gonna burn another billion OMI next 2 days at these prices. Greatest crypto, because it benefits future. It benefits future when it goes down. Okay, yeah, I get what you mean. Like, as it just burns more, it's just gonna benefit even more. I do want to invest in OMI at some point. I know, like, trust me, if I could spend money on OMI and or NFTs, like I would right now. But got close to 2K gems, struggling between wanting to pick up something now or wait till tomorrow to try and snipe the URSR Black Panther. Original Mertz, I think that's what it is. I'll be honest, again, not financial advice, do whatever you want. I think Black Panther will be cheaper like 2 or 3 days after drop than on drop day. I think that will be the case. Like 2 or 3 days after drop will probably be when the Black Panther is the cheapest, including the ultra rare and secret rares. There's a lot of mints. We're in the middle of a gem squeeze. People are starving for any kind of profit to be had. So initially it'll drop and go up, and then there are people that will be patient enough to not sell on the first day because they know it's going to recover a little bit over the next day or two. But then people are, let's just say this. Tomorrow Black Panther drops. Secret Rares averaging around 1,000. Let's just round number. Averaging around 1,000. And it starts dipping down. It goes down to 800 because people are just trying to take profit. Then the next 2 days, it starts going up because people aren't buying, right? It starts to go up. People are done undercutting or whatever. They're done selling it. It goes up to like 1,200, maybe 1,500. And then at that point, people are then happy to sell it because there's almost like multiple waves of people that are going to sell their Black Panther. That's just the way I see it playing out in my head. Again, not financial advice. I'm not infallible, but so far what I've seen from literally every single drop the last month and a half, or the last month, last month and a half, everything has been cheaper for days or weeks after the drop so far, especially in the middle of a gem squeeze. Everything has been cheaper than what it was on drop day. So that's my take. You can buy it on drop day, but it'll probably be in the red until we get some MTL announcements. Let's see. Chase Thomason, listening to Veve Magic talk about Pizza Planet truck may change your mind on its importance. She made some good points a month or so ago. Yeah, no, I watched that same one too. Are you talking about the one when she was on NFT Pirates? I listened to that one. I think it's fantastic. I do think my only thing is that it's going to take a while for those people that do see significant value in the Pizza Planet truck to maybe get on the app, right? Like, I mean, is it safe to say that, like, you know, if there's Disney fans, is there like one of it, not only do they have to understand the Pizza Planet truck's relevance, they also have to be able to be willing to A, afford it, B, willing to actually invest in it. So it's like, hey, I can afford it, or do I want something else, right? There's a lot of layers to it, at least in my opinion. So it is big in the community, but it's like those right people need to get into the community, or need to get into the app, right, as well. Plus, it's like, is it a niche thing? Like, yeah, like, I'll say this. Is it undervalued? Yes. But I do think Elsa and Iron Man and Mickey Hat are going to pump harder, like, in general, like, gem for gem wise, percentage wise. I do think yes. But for now, who knows? But I get what you mean, Chase. Us Vibes, what do you think about comic XYZ? Vibes, oh man, not again. Yeah, exactly. It's okay. Like, I know people stagger in and they kind of stumble in at different times. So sometimes people are like, hey, can you pull up the Goofy card? And then 30 minutes later, hey, can you pull up the Goofy card? Or like, hey, what do you think of lenticular cards? I talk about how great the lenticular cards are for 5 minutes straight. Then 15 minutes later, hey, maybe it's just because I'm behind on chat, but like usually an hour later, someone would say like, hey, what's your opinion on lenticular cards? I'm like, and it's like, I probably could just tell people like, go rewind and go watch it. But yeah. Were you from West Coast? Yeah, I'm from the West Coast. I was originally from greater San Francisco Bay Area, more inland. I grew up more like inland California. Then I spent my late teens and early 20s in San Francisco Bay Area. And then now I've been living here in like the greater part of Phoenix for about 3 years now, 4 years, almost 4 years. Why would anyone burn their collectibles? Did Veve promise rewards? If it starts to happen, SR Comics could absolutely crush the markets. Possibly. I don't know that many people that would buy an SR comic for thousands or, low hundreds of gems, depending on how, bad the comic is. Or burning some of the higher end ones. I would say that the rewards have to be pretty damn good for people to burn just NFTs in general, in my opinion. CMAC Vex 110 watching. What's up with the likes? I agree. I don't know what the likes are at, but yeah, check it out. MC1 SR bought this one. Hell yeah, dude. That's fantastic. That's Marvel Comics #1 SR bought this one for $7. Yeah, so you probably bought that, what, like 11 months ago or something like that? Maybe 12 months ago? Sinful Mobile, yeah, you'd probably have to do more than 2% if you consistently buy the market over time. You could reach 10%, maybe after several years, you could have 50% of an NFT. Yeah, but I don't know. It seems like a lot of effort to put in to buy the cheapest NFT. And you have to remember, there's a reason why it's the cheapest NFT on the market, right? I don't care, but if you own all of the, I forgot what the hell the thing's name was that we saw earlier, whatever it was. If you own all of the NFT, like, that's great. But at the same time, like, you know, I still value popularity over numbers, right? That Veve already kind of went through that phase where it was all about low mints, low edition. Hey, this only has 1,000 editions of this. Like, if I just bought a handful of these, I could sell it. But like, people are always going to steer towards more the popular things. We're getting to the point now, and we will eventually get to the point, especially where even if something has 15,000 mints, it doesn't matter. There's millions of fans of this you know, character or this IP. It doesn't matter if there's 15,000 mints or 1,000 mints. Like, it's still low. For $7, Logan, I wouldn't be so eager to cash out. I'm in no hurry at all. Bitcoin ETH tank bad. I got NFTs for this exact reason. I believe they'd be resilient to inflation and global market crashes. Yep. I'd get Steamboat UR if I could. I agree. I've contemplated selling it a few times, trust me, but now I'm just holding it. Since I started investing, I've noticed people waste a lot of money is painful. I noticed this after I watched the first episode of Squid Game, where he lost all his money on horse racing. Why do people live in Phoenix? There's sand everywhere. It's not that bad. There's water everywhere too. It's not like the movie Dune, where it's just like. It's funny because there was a scene in Dune, because I actually just finished watching Dune actually earlier today. It's a good movie. I do like the Dune series. I do know quite a bit about the lore in general. I haven't like read the books or anything like that, but I know quite a bit about the lore. And it's funny because one of the scenes they're like, oh, it's gonna get hot. It's 140 degrees. I'm like, it's not that much harder than Phoenix during certain days, right? Like Phoenix, there's been some days where it can get low 120s, you know, high 110s. I think the hottest day I've ever experienced, like being outside, was 117 degrees Fahrenheit, which is like what, 44 degrees Celsius? How much is that? $47 degrees Celsius, which is pretty hot. And when they said it was going to be 140 degrees like in the movie, I'm like, I could, you know, I've dealt with weather somewhat close to that heat. I should say the heat. Yeah, there's lots of things to do here. Gucci, what's up? This Gucci guy, what's this and this? I would still avoid. I'm just not investing at all in Invisible Woman. Trust me, I've done this before where I just looked at the all-time high of something and the all-time low. You got to pay attention to not only just the listings, but also just the popularity of it, right? If you got on the app, if you had 10,000 people get on the app, how many people are jumping on the app saying, where's Invisible Woman? I want to buy it. When they have so many other superheroes. They have Deadpool, they have Spider-Man, they have like all the Marvel Mighties, all the other Fantastic Fours, and Captain America, and the DC and Batman and all that stuff. It's like, how many people are going to go on here and like, if Invisible Woman was the best NFT to buy on the platform for, let's just say around here, 900 gems, it would have held its value, but it's not. It's not the best NFT to buy for 900, so it's going down in value. But because you asked, all-time high is 2K for Secret Rare. But again, that's during a massive pump on the market, so I wouldn't rely on that. And then what was the other one you asked for? Spider-Man Common. If I remember that off the top of my head, I believe that was 1,600, but we'll look it up. I might be off. We're so damn early to this app. It's crazy. Weintraub, I agree. We are very early. It's funny because I was going to ask this question to some other content creators, which is, I was gonna ask this question. It's like, at what point on Veve are we no longer early? Or when people get on the app on Veve, at what point are they no longer early? Are they part of the, you know, the not late, but they're not early anymore? I think I asked, I think I asked Randy Chavez this question, and I do need to actually get off, guys, in like 5 minutes. So I do have a video premiering in like 30 minutes from now about me just doing a fan-made Veve NFT drop just for fun. Book of Boba Fett. Check it out. I used to do this called Win Wednesday, where I used to do a thing where I would kind of like simulate drops and kind of do what I think Veve would do or whatever. It's just kind of a fun thing for me to do occasionally as like a creative outlet. Like just crunching numbers all the time does kind of get a little boring after a while. So I think like once a month I'll do a thing called, I used to call it Win Wednesday, and I used to release it on Wednesdays, but it got took way too much effort and energy to do it weekly, so I'm gonna do it like once a month now. I would do it on Wednesday, but tomorrow's the Black Panther drop, and I think the video would perform kind of poorly on Wednesday because everyone's gonna be watching live streams. People are gonna be talking about Black Panther, and no one's gonna be looking at, you know, kind of a random video I make. So I just did it today. Spider-Man common. I think the all-time high for this was 1600. I want to say maybe 1400. 1400, yeah. Figured 1600 was too high. So 1400 for common Spider-Man. I just got Marvel Comics #1 for 280. That's crazy. That's super cheap. At least it's not Tucson. It's much worse there. Yeah, Tucson is... I've never been to Tucson because I don't know why I haven't. I just haven't cared to. But yeah. Bendik, hi, just got here. What do you think about Ultraman 7? Not very bullish on any of the Ultramans. I don't know why, like, this is just me personally. Again, just my personal opinion. Just leans way too heavily on localization to come through on Veve's end, government sanctions and or things to follow through in China and different parts of Southeast Asia. I think there's too many things need to fall into place for Ultraman to like really take off. Where's Ultraman 7? And these prices on these are out of date, by the way, from like this morning. Omi the Clown was in here earlier saying that the prices aren't completely up to date. Where the hell is Ultraman 7? There it is. I think it's just too reliant on too many factors. Like that's just my take on it. But most likely people are relying on China and like Japan and all that stuff, localization. But in my opinion, knowing China, probably what could happen is like China will allow their citizens to buy NFTs, but it can only be on a government-run blockchain, and you can only buy government-sanctioned Chinese NFTs or something like that. Who knows? Literally anything could happen, and they might not even allow any access to Veve, or if they do, it could be in a very limited manner, or you have to pay ridiculous fees. Who knows, right? Plus, on top of that, we need to rely on Veve to come out with Japanese, Chinese, and multiple language localizations at a certain point. So I just think there's just better buys, and it's just like way too speculative for me to get into, and plus even then I've heard from multiple sources, people saying that Ultraman 7 or just this version of Ultraman is not the OG Ultraman. It's basically the Netflix version or off-brand version, whatever version you want to call it, right? Of not Power Rangers, Jesus Christ, of Ultraman. So like imagine if they came out with Power Rangers. And when people think Power Rangers, at least people that do like Power Rangers, like myself, I remember watching Power Rangers a lot when I was a kid. Image, not games, come on. Lag is giving me appendicitis. And I'm gonna give it like a really shitty example here, but give me a sec. Gucci, of course, thanks for stopping by. I know you have a lot of questions and stuff. So let's imagine they announce Power Rangers, and and there's a reason why most of the video or most of the pictures are showing the original, right? Like this is the original, this is the original. But imagine if they're like, yo, by the way, we're gonna do NFT Power Rangers and we're gonna announce it, and they all look like this. People are like, what the hell is this? This isn't the Power Rangers I remember. It's not the original. Like, it's Power Rangers, has the same colors, but it's like not the same. That's how I imagine it's gonna be like for them. But like, I might buy it. It's like the first Power Rangers, but it's not like the Power Rangers that I'm familiar with, as far as I know. That's just what I've heard. The OG Ultraman is this, as far as I've heard. So it's like, not only is it not the original, relies on localization on Veve side of things, and relies on the Southeast Asian governments of multiple countries to kind of follow through on this whole NFT thing. Way too speculative, way too many things. This is like the OG Ultraman, from what I've heard. Is that the posters show the OG, but the actual NFT 3D collectibles don't. So, I don't know. I feel like I go on that tangent every time I go into Ultraman, but it's just true. And plus, if you look at the chart, it's just down to the right. Listings are up. That's Sinful Mawel, if having Invisible Woman gave you invisible powers in Viviverse, would the price go up? I'm not even gonna it's just not like it's a silly question or whatever, but it's like way too speculative. We're talking Viviverse in 2026 at that point. It's like way too far off to even like think about something like that. It's like saying like, well, what if I could buy a Deadpool NFT and it just made me invincible? I just can't die. Would that help? Like maybe, but I think for the first couple of years of the Viviverse, unless they've been outsourcing it to another company that actually designs video games professionally, the Viviverse is probably just going to be a glorified Vivi Vault Room, or like a glorified Vivi VR chat, in my personal opinion, at best. Can't wait to not score tomorrow's drop. I agree. Same thing here, Andre. Tremendous. What up, brother? Keeping it honest as usual. Love it. What are your thoughts on Joe Mad Batman? Still a good buy, or do you think it's going to fizzle out? I think everything is going to go down in price for another like week. I think, at least until the end of the month, because there could be another big hitter. Some people are thinking Miles Morales end of this month as well, or like before, this weekend or something. So I'm just holding off on buying anything right now at this point. I'm just waiting, and I don't even have that many gems to buy right now either. I have like 800 gems, but yeah, like everything is a good buy, just not right now. I would just wait. You could probably get better prices if you wait. John, I think Elsa is amazing, but when people say we'll go to the moon when little girls grow up, and a bunch of them, I disagree. Why is Homer and Bart then not 10K? I don't know. It's not. When people say it'll go to the moon when little girls grow up and buy a bunch of them, no, that's not the case. It's more like the fathers are going to buy them for their daughters. That's more the case, and especially since Elsa has been the most profitable and prolific like Disney princess that Disney's released, they're more likely to keep pushing that IP, or at least that princess, for a while, right? Like I've never even seen the movie, and I know the song. Like I've heard my little cousin sing it and stuff like that. I still have not seen Frozen. Like I'll be honest, I still have not seen Frozen. But it's more like, it's not like little girls are gonna go on the app and buy a 10,000 gem Elsa. It's more like the dads or the fathers and the investors, Disney fanatics, those kind of people. Like those are the people that are gonna buy it, not the little girls. I think that's, yeah. Can you show us your vault? Probably not, Andre. Thank you to subscribe. What's OG? Rami, what's up? I'm actually getting off here, guys, in like 2 minutes. So, because I do need to run the restroom, do a couple things, and I do want to be prepared for the video premiere I'm going to do in like 30 minutes. They have a Netflix Ultraman show, new season coming April. Cool, Karma. Yeah, I didn't know that. I knew of the Netflix series or whatever, but yeah, it's just a little bit too, not region locked for me, but it just doesn't speak to me. I don't know how else to explain it. King Coolin, people have finally gotten smart with Veve. Now Veve has to deliver on MTL, or else people should and will hold gems until they deliver on their promises. I think so. Dude and Spicy confirmed. Yep. Set as a reminder for next stream, but I'm not feeling too well. Nice. No, sorry, not nice that you're not feeling well, but I'm glad you said it as a reminder. Well, the video is only like 2.5 minutes long, so it's not that long. It's more of just a fun little project that I did, which I occasionally like to do. Have you seen a girl above 18 who looks like Elsa? Huh? No, I don't know. I haven't really seen it, but can you check the Donald lenticular? Yeah, I'll check that really quick, and then I will be done with the stream. So. Donald. Yeah, I feel the same when people talk about gamification with Mighties. Like, I guess it's possible that they'll be involved in games in the future, but who's going to say the game will even be good? Yeah, that too. That too. Donald Lenticular right now is just barely above 500 gems, which is absolutely absurd to think about, but it is what it is. Let's see. Loading. I think I don't know what you want me to look at. Demetrius. Listings are super high right now. I still think it's a fantastic buy. Long term, Donald's going to do great. I think Gem for Gem, it's still the best. It's still the best lenticular card to buy on the app. Gem for Gem. We like Belle and Elsa. Yeah. I think a lot of people, different people are gonna buy it. You know, it's the adults. They're gonna buy it for their daughters. You know, that's what I meant by, you know, it's fathers and mothers are gonna buy it for their kids. You know, it's not like, oh, you're gonna show it off, but it's like it could be a cool thing, or it's like, hey, I'm gonna buy this now because maybe 5-10 years from now you'll actually understand like an NFT, or like, remember Elsa was your favorite? I bought this NFT forever ago, or whatever it is, right? But regardless, it's still the first princess on the app. And some people said it's not a princess, it's like an honorary princess, or she's a queen, or I don't know, but it doesn't matter, right? What it's it doesn't matter if it's true or not. It just depends on what people believe, right? The perception is more important than the reality. If enough people think that Elsa's a princess, she's a princess, even if like lore wise or in the story or whatever it is, she's not a princess. You know, if enough little girls and enough parents think she's a princess, then she's a princess. It just is what it is. I'm trying to remember that there's got to be some other examples too of like, there's like a universal like belief about something, but it's actually like not true. But like the only reason why people believe it is because they've like misheard information or whatever. Kind of think about like the Mandela effect, but that's not really a thing. But anyway, whatever. That's it for today's stream, guys. Please hang out with me in like 22 minutes for my video. It's gonna be really, really cool. You guys aren't gonna regret it, or not, or you can just watch it later. It's only like 2.5 minutes long. It's gonna be really cool. And yeah, appreciate you guys stopping by. I appreciate the donations in the meantime. So I'll hang out in this chat for like 2 more minutes, but I will be in like the premiere video a little bit later. So hope you guys take care. Catch you next time and be safe.